hinting, with a sly smile. She said, "Boss Chun, are you still lacking a beauty by your side?" Chen Yang glared, looking fierce. "Don't talk nonsense." The next moment, he provocatively added, "If we must talk about beauties, you could count as one." After saying that, he scanned her up and down with a mischievous glint in his eyes. "Feng Danqing, how about accompanying me to enjoy the scenery and have fun in the world?" A shiver ran down Feng Danqing's spine. "Pervert, get away." She was so startled that she quickly took a few steps back to distance herself. Lu Sisi looked over, curious, and asked, "What's going on?" A blush appeared on Feng Danqing's face. "It's nothing." Lu Sisi covered her mouth and chuckled softly. "This guy has lustful intentions, but no courage. You don't need to be afraid." Feng Danqing widened her eyes. She glanced at Lu Sisi, then looked back at Chen Yang. Who would believe there is no story between these two? Without hesitation, she immediately took out her phone and called Han Feishue. "Feishue, come over quickly. I have a new idea that you'll definitely be interested in." As soon as Han Feishue heard this, she was immediately intrigued. "Where are you?" "I'll come right away. I'm at Chen Yang's lakeside villa. Just come over." "Okay." After hanging up, Han Feishue quickly drove her white Porsche over. In recent days, Feng Danqing had been busy with the renovation of Chen Yang's villa, which Han Feishue knew about since she had been here and was familiar with the route. Seeing that Feng Danqing was serious, Chen Yang couldn't just sit idle. "Danqing, since we're doing this, it'll be hard work for you all. Just tell me how much it costs, and I'll reimburse you completely." Feng Danqing smiled. "It's not hard. I find it quite interesting. As for the money, I've said it. I'll cover the daily necessities and furniture. It shouldn't cost too much. Consider it my congratulatory gift. You can't take that away from me. As for other activity expenses, we'll discuss that later. And now, you need to think about who to invite. Knowing the number and identities will help me book the private room and prepare the gifts." Chen Yang scratched his head a bit. "I have no experience and no time." Feng Danqing laughed. "No worries. Feishue is an expert. She has experience. You just think of the list, notify them, and tell them to come at 10 a.m. the day after tomorrow to visit the new place. After that, we'll go out for a meal. There are quite a few high-end restaurants nearby, so it's convenient." Chen Yang nodded gratefully, starting to think about who to invite. Feng Danqing and Han Feishue, as the chief planners and directors, must attend. Lu Sisi and Xiaoye should come too. Bai Yuyan and Ding Xiang must be invited. As for my parents, my father's health has improved significantly. I estimate that after observing for about a week, he should be able to be discharged from the hospital. He can even get out of bed and move around a bit. When the time comes, I'll buy him a better wheelchair for my mother to push, so he can come to participate. Regarding Li Jie and his family, including my sister-in-law Su Ryun and my little nephew Lele, they will definitely be invited. And I expect they will come. Not to mention the incident of rescuing Lele, but now that we have officially become sworn brothers, they will surely show up out of respect. However, should we invite Mayor Li Junjiang and his wife Zhang Huiyin? That is hard to say. After all, he is the mayor of Jiangxing and has a special status, so it wouldn't be appropriate for him to make a public appearance. Additionally, there is another person. Hey who? That is a bit tricky. He is involved in special work, and his identity needs to be kept confidential. Can he be invited? Emotionally, Chen Yang wants to invite him. But from a work perspective, it's not very appropriate. It puts him in a bit of a dilemma. "Chen Yang?" A familiar yet unfamiliar voice suddenly sounded nearby. Chen Yang turned to look. Who is this? A young laborer, dusty and wearing a yellow hard hat, was waving at him, holding a trowel in his hand. "You really are Chen Yang? I thought I was seeing things." The young man ran over, speaking to Chen Yang as if they were old friends. Chen Yang felt a bit confused. Who is this? Seeing Chen Yang's confusion, the young man quickly wiped the dust off his face, revealing a somewhat familiar face. "Lu Changhe, is that you?" The young man burst into laughter. "Ha! I couldn't help but slap Chen Yang on the shoulder. But when he saw a black handprint appear on Chen Yang's expensive clothes, he awkwardly stopped. "Sorry about that." Chen Yang smiled and playfully slapped his shoulder back. "You little rascal, are you still being polite with me?" "It's fine, it will wash out." Lu Changhe excitedly leaned closer. "Yangzi, I was looking at you for a long time, thinking it looked a lot like you, but I was afraid I was mistaken, so I didn't dare call out to you." He quietly pointed at Feng Danqing, looking both surprised and envious. "You're quite impressive. When did you get to know our beautiful president?" To be honest, she is the eternal goddess in the hearts of everyone in our company, all hundreds of us. Chen Yang smiled faintly. "We are friends. I just asked her to help with the renovation of my villa." Lu Changhe was even more shocked. His eyes widened like saucers, and his tongue stumbled over words. "Is this villa really yours?" Chapter 52. Do you want to be a contractor? "No, I want to." Chen Yang nodded. "Yes, it's mine." Lu Changhe slapped his forehead. "Oh my god, so all this time I've been working for you?" The next moment, he anxiously scratched his head. "Quick, tell me, when did you get rich? I heard not long ago that you were unemployed." Chen Yang smiled wryly and shook his head. "I am indeed unemployed and currently just a drifter. However, by chance, I earned a little money and have found a place to stay in the city." Lu Changhe was amazed. He pointed around dramatically and exclaimed, "Is this what you call a place to stay? This is the best villa area in the city. Many wealthy people want to buy here, but can't. By your logic, what does my 2-bedroom apartment back in my hometown count as? A shed?" He sighed heavily. "And I'm paying a mortgage for 30 years. Sigh. It seems I'll be a slave to my mortgage for life." Qinyang comforted him. "Don't be discouraged. You'll gradually be doing better." Lu Changhe shook his head, fully aware that for a grassroots individual, it's incredibly difficult to rise up. Qinyang is impressive. Not only does he own a villa and drive luxury cars, but he is also surrounded by beautiful women. By the way, Yangzi, I just saw 2 beautiful women over there. One of them is exceptionally pretty, with a great aura, and she looks a lot like the famous singer Lu Sisi. She is the dream girl of all men, an acknowledged goddess with no scandals, and still single. Tell me this is just a coincidence and it can't really be her? Lu Changhe nearly jumped up, his eyes shining as he stared at Qinyang. After thinking for a moment, Qinyang didn't hide anything from his old classmate. Yes, she is the big star Lu Sisi, and the girl next to her is her assistant. However, she has a special status. So please don't spread it around or talk carelessly. Lu Changhe was both surprised and delighted. He excitedly spun in place, nodding vigorously. I understand. Big stars are afraid of scandals. Qinyang shot him a glare. What are you talking about? Scandals? What scandals? Lu Changhe, with a mischievous look, brought his fists together, thumbs pointing at each other, and smiled ambiguously. You and her. Qinyang kicked him. Get lost. If you keep babbling, I'll have your boss fire you. Looking at Qinyang, Lu Changhe felt a mix of envy and admiration. This guy must have stepped in good luck. What kind of fortune is this? Unemployed, yet striking it rich and buying a mansion. Not only is he a good friend of a prominent figure, but he also knows a big star. The way they interacted showed their relationship was definitely special. If not lovers, then at least close friends. What a charmed life. It made him drool just thinking about it. Meanwhile, he was working at a construction site, barely earning a few bucks, and exhausting himself like a dog. The girl he liked from the factory was just average looking, but had a bad temper. He had no choice but to act like a sycophant to marry her. After several months of trying, he still couldn't even hold her hand. What a frustrating situation. Comparing himself to Qinyang, who was soaring high while he was crawling on the ground, he sighed. There was no way to compare in this lifetime. With that thought, Lu Changhe's eyes lit up, and he shamelessly ran back. Yangzi, no, Yanggu, can you please mention to Mr. Feng that I'd like a promotion and a raise if there's a chance? Qinyang was both amused and exasperated. You're a migrant worker, to be precise, a bricklayer. What kind of promotion can you expect? Maybe to become a foreman? Lu Changhe felt indignant. What do you mean? Do you look down on migrant workers? What is wrong with being a foreman? They can earn quite a bit every year. Qinyang kicked him again. Come on, when did I say I look down on migrant workers? Don't put words in my mouth. How could I possibly look down on them? My dad is a migrant worker. I'm the son of a farmer. Lu Changhe gave a thumbs up. Well said. I give you a like. Qinyang straightened his expression. Stop with the flattery. Have you learned to suck up now? Seriously, do you really want to be a foreman? Lu Changhe became serious as well. No, I don't want to be a foreman. That job bears all the risks. If you earn a lot, you can lose a lot too. The risks are too high. I can't afford to lose. After all, I graduated from high school and want to join a company, become a formal employee, and have a stable job. He began to get excited. If I could become a technician or a project manager, that would be fantastic. High salary, good benefits, plus bonuses. All the prestige and respect. I'd have it all. Ha ha ha. I could even wake up laughing in my sleep. Seeing Lu Changhe laughing so hard, full of dreams, Qinyang felt emotional. This guy is sincere. During high school, he had a good relationship with Qinyang. He was his best friend besides Su Wenqing. All right, I'll take care of this for you. Qinyang looked at Lu Changhe with a serious expression. However, let me be clear. I can help you get a job in the company and even provide some support. That's no problem. But whether you can stay or get promoted ultimately depends on your performance. Work seriously, study hard, and achieve results. Everything will be fine. If you think you can rely on connections, Qinyang didn't finish his sentence. Lu Changhe was already moved to tears. Brother, don't say anymore, I understand. I guarantee that if I don't live up to expectations and embarrass you, I will resign myself and never speak to you again. Qinyang smiled and patted his shoulder. Changhe, we're brothers, it's not that serious. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. I'm friends with Director Feng. As long as you don't cause her trouble, that's all that matters. Lu Changhe pounded his chest confidently. I know Director Feng is his words paused, and his eyes shifted. Absolutely no problem. I won't cause any trouble for you or her. Qinyang was speechless and didn't want to correct anything further. He suddenly asked about another person. Changhe, do you know how Su Wenqing is doing now? Lu Changhe sighed deeply but remained silent. Qinyang was puzzled. What's wrong? Lu Changhe sighed again. Yangzi, Wenqing is quite strong-willed and has always asked me not to talk to others about him. In fact, he is not doing well at all. His situation is very difficult. It's hard to explain. Qinyang's heart sank. Su Wenqing was his best friend during high school. Back then, Chen Yang's family was poor. During the time at school, there were often occasions when there was no money for breakfast. Su Wenqing's family runs a small shop. So while they don't have a lot of money, they have some pocket change. They are much better off than Chen Yang. The two of them are close friends, sharing a dormitory with bunk beds. They go back to the dorm together and enter the classroom together. Even when going to the bathroom, they go in and out together. Every morning, Su Wenqing buys 2 portions of breakfast. Even when Chen Yang insists he isn't hungry, Su Wenqing always forces him to eat. One time, Su Wenqing accidentally spent all his money and could only buy 1 bun. As a result, the 2 brothers split it in half. From that day on, Chen Yang decided that Su Wenqing would be his brother for life. A few days ago, I heard my mom say that Su Wenqing is a good kid. Last year, he borrowed 10,000 yuan from home, and my dad, Chen Zhongshi, agreed to it, saying he would pay it back this year. However, a few days ago, my dad got injured and was hospitalized in the county town. During the checkup, Su Wenqing brought a basket of eggs and a 200 yuan red envelope to visit. He spent quite a while chatting with my parents before leaving. Throughout the visit, he never mentioned the money. My mom felt embarrassed and brought up the repayment, but he hurriedly said not to worry about it. He said there was no rush to repay the money because his uncle was hospitalized and he was tight on funds, unable to help much. My mom was moved to tears, realizing true feelings in times of hardship. She was grateful that he provided help during difficult times rather than adding to their troubles. When he left, she accompanied him down the stairs and to the door. Looking back now, it seems that Su Wenqing also faced difficulties and challenges, which left him powerless. Otherwise, he would certainly have borrowed money again to help his father with medical expenses. Even that basket of eggs and the 200 yuan in cash, had it already drained him of all his resources? Chen Yang's eyes turned red, feeling anxious. He grabbed Lu Chang's sleeve and urged him repeatedly, "Hurry, tell me what happened to him." Chapter 53. Are you okay? Do you need my help? Lu Chang sighed deeply, looking helpless. You know, Su Wenqing has always been strong-willed and did well in school. After graduating from university, he used his exceptional business acumen to start a successful venture, becoming a well-known millionaire. That was Su Wenqing's shining moment. He was riding high. You know, he is generous and kind-hearted, and many benefited from him. At that time, he was dating a girl from our class, Wu Min, who was the second prettiest girl after Bai Xiaoya. Later, he became friends with the son of a wealthy businessman, and they partnered in business. Initially, their venture was very successful, and both made a lot of money. However, less than a year later, the wealthy businessman's son secretly got involved with Wu Min, and when Su Wenqing found out, the woman left, and the brothers became enemies. The company they started together fell apart. After clearing the accounts, Su Wenqing discovered that he had lost all the tens of millions he had earned over the years, and was even in debt for 550,000 yuan. At that moment, he realized that Wu Min, that despicable person, had been embezzling funds during her time as an accountant, leaving the finances in shambles while the books appeared flawless. With the son of a wealthy merchant providing cover, Su Wenqing ended up losing everything, while those 2 unscrupulous individuals made a profit of 30 million. To repay the debt, since March of this year, he had been juggling 3 jobs, working at a construction site during the day, delivering food after work, and driving at night. He was working tirelessly without rest. In less than 2 months, he had lost 20 pounds. Just when things couldn't get worse, his mother fell seriously ill and became bedridden. His father's health was also poor, and with his own life in disarray, he couldn't care for the patient. Su Wenqing had no choice but to hire a caregiver to look after his parents. This meant he not only had to repay debts, but also cover his mother's medical expenses and the caregiver's wages. The pressure of life became even heavier. Despite all this, he insisted on keeping it a secret from others, silently bearing the burden alone. I only learned about everything when I saw him at the same construction site last time. Lu Chang sighed deeply. If it weren't for this coincidence, I wouldn't have told you. You must keep it a secret from me, otherwise, he would definitely cut ties with me. After listening, Chen Yang's eyes glistened with tears, and he quickly wiped them away. He hurriedly asked, how can I help him? Lu Changhe began to scratch his head. This guy is really stubborn. If you just give him money, he definitely won't accept it. He cares too much about his pride. Suddenly, he had a bright idea. I heard that there's a class reunion at the Shanghai Grand Hotel tomorrow afternoon. If you want to help him, you should attend this class reunion. You'll definitely find him there. Just adapt to the situation, and you'll come up with a way. Chen Yang was a bit surprised. A class reunion? Is he really going to have time to attend? Lu Changhe explained. Of course, he doesn't have time. But he has to go. The reunion was initiated by him back then, and he also created the class group. As the founder and a veteran, it wouldn't be appropriate for him not to attend. Chen Yang nodded. All right, I'll pretend to attend the class reunion and act accordingly. He then looked at Lu Changhe. Are you going? Lu Changhe scratched his head. I didn't plan to go, but now that you, the big boss, are backing me up, I'd love to see for myself. Plus, I can help you out and finally get this stubborn Su Wenqing to budge. Chen Yang raised his fist and bumped it with Lu Changha's. Good brother, let us charge together. Lu Changha shouted excitedly, his eyes filled with hope. Good brother, let us charge together. Suddenly, Chen Yang thought of someone else. Do you think that woman will attend this time? Lu Changha paused. That woman? Who? In an instant, he remembered Chen Yang's past crush. A young boy, inexperienced in love, hurt deeply. She should attend. I heard she goes to every reunion. Chen Yang clenched his fists secretly. By Xiaoya, this time, let us settle this once and for all. All these years, he has been carrying this emotional burden. He had encountered 2 women in succession, both of whom left him deeply scarred. Bai Xiaoya was one of them. He had to ask her face to face why she treated him that way back then. This question had troubled him for many years, and this time, it had to be clarified. Tomorrow at noon. Great. After all these years, he had endured, so waiting another day didn't matter. Suddenly, a loud rumbling sound approached rapidly. It was a white Porsche. Bang. The engine shut off, the door opened, and a stunningly beautiful female CEO stepped out with an impressive figure. Striding over with a commanding presence, she said, Chen Yang, did I arrive quickly enough? Han Feishue flicked her long, wavy hair with a sense of pride. Chen Yang openly admired her. Not bad. SOSO. Han Feishue raised her eyebrows, about to get angry when a surprised voice came from afar. Feishue, you're here. It was Feng Danqing. Come over. I have a creative idea that is particularly interesting. Just waiting for you. Suppressing her anger, Han Feishue shot Chen Yang a glare, tossed her hair, and walked away. A faint, alluring fragrance wafted into Chen Yang's nose as she left. Just as he was savoring it, a yellow helmet appeared before him. Bro, you're something else. Another beautiful and wealthy woman. Lu Changha exclaimed, looking like a country bumpkin in the city. Just that Porsche alone, I could never afford in my lifetime. Chen Yang's expression remained indifferent. That's the best friend of President Feng, the beautiful CEO of a large advertising company. She is also my good friend, Han Feishue. Lu Changha's dusty face suddenly leaned in closer, his eyes sparkling with envy. Bro, did you save the universe in your past life? Otherwise, how could you have such fortune with women in this life? Chen Yang pushed him away in disgust. You're gossiping again. What fortune? As a gentleman, what could I possibly do? Lu Changha was anxious, like a cat on hot bricks. Bro, don't be silly. With so many resources available, you're not going to use any? You're asking for trouble, you know? Chen Yang, fuming, said, you can't expect a virtuous person to act inappropriately. Lu Changha retorted confidently, why not? Chen Yang suddenly felt a bit irritated. Go on, hurry up and get to work. Be careful, or I'll tell your boss you're slacking off, and they LL dock your pay. Lu Changha continued to chatter. What kind of person are you? With such good resources, you aren't utilizing them? Are you out of your mind? No, wait. Maybe it's a health issue. He looked at Chen Yang with a pitying expression. Bro, are you alright? If you really have difficulties, do you want me to help? Chapter 54. Hey, why do you bite people? Get lost. You're the one with issues. Chen Yang, embarrassed and angry, snapped back. You think someone like you can make progress? With the big boss around, if you can't even do your job properly, do you really think there is any room for improvement? Lu Changha's eyes twinkled. That makes sense. Put away that ugly face and get to work. Chen Yang walked into the study. Feng Danqing and Han Feishue were already in a heated discussion about how to arrange the venue, what materials were needed, and how many people to allocate, all clearly outlined in their planning scheme. Han Feishue, being the head of an advertising company, handled these matters with great ease. In just a few minutes, she had clarified and organized the key points. Chen Yang said, since Danqing is responsible for purchasing daily necessities and furniture, I will cover the other expenses for the day after tomorrow. Chen Yang wanted to politely refuse, but was firmly stopped by Han Feishue. Aren't we good friends? Chen Yang nodded. Then that's settled. Since we are good friends, I can't just ignore your housewarming celebration, right? Han Feishue reasoned convincingly. It's just a small amount of money. We can afford it. What's the point of arguing over such matters? With her insistence, Chen Yang had no choice but to agree. Fine. If you're eager to pay, I'm happy to sit back and relax. It's saving money and effort, after all. Looking at Han Feishue, Chen Yang suddenly remembered something. Feishue, about the leak incident at your company last time. Although the mole was dealt with, the aftermath must be significant, right? Han Feishue's expression changed instantly, turning from excitement to a frown. Sigh. Just mentioning this makes me uneasy. Chen Yang's heart skipped a beat. What? Is the impact that big? Are the consequences serious? Han Feishue sighed deeply. In the last leak incident, we were bidding for the Tears of Angels project. In the end, that project was snagged by our old rival, a certain advertising company. They won the bid through underhanded means, and I certainly won't accept defeat. In the advertising industry of Jiangcheng, our company, Feishue, and theirs are the largest and top-tier firms. This means that to survive and grow, either they will overpower us, or we will take them down. There can only be one winner. It's either us or them. For me, it has to be our victory and their downfall. Tears of Angels is a major project worth over $1 billion. It's not something you can easily secure in a year. Losing this project has dealt a heavy blow to our company, and we are already at a disadvantage in the competition. Therefore, I must catch up and secure an even larger project. Her eyes began to sparkle. The Moon Ferry project fits this requirement perfectly, with a total investment of 1.5 billion. If we secure it, my company can turn the tide and even gain the upper hand in the battle against that rival company. Moon Fairy and Tears of Angels are both top products in the high-end cosmetics industry. Natural competitors. The parent companies of these two projects are also long-standing rivals in the cosmetics sector, and we, along with that rival company, are sworn enemies. This is the best gift from heaven for me. Han Feishue grew more excited as she spoke. During this period, I have led the team to work day and night, tirelessly. Finally, after the bidding, we won the Moon Fairy project. Currently, the project contract has been signed, and everything is ready. However, her voice started to slow down, and her mood took a downturn. There was only one thing troubling me, and it was making no progress. Qinyang asked curiously, what is it? Is it difficult? Han Feishue frowned. It is indeed quite difficult. Originally, we had a product spokesperson lined up, but suddenly a scandal broke out. They made some inappropriate remarks in an unsuitable context, seemingly showing closeness to a small island nation, and were labeled as traitors by countless netizens at home. Their reputation in tatters. The official media also condemned such treasonous behavior. Currently, they have been completely banned domestically. Overnight, all collaborations and film projects related to this person have been blocked. Naturally, our collaboration has fallen through. With the Moon Fairy project about to start, the client needs to see the official nomination of the celebrity spokesperson in 3 days. If we can't satisfy them, this collaboration project is likely to face changes. Qinyang was puzzled. With so many stars at home and abroad, can't we find a suitable spokesperson? Han Feishue smiled wryly. There are plenty of stars, so finding one isn't difficult. The challenge is finding one that perfectly fits with the Moon Fairy brand. During this time, we've thought of many female stars and contacted numerous people, but none meet the criteria. Either their temperament doesn't match, their fame isn't enough, their schedules don't align, or their asking price is too high. To be honest, the Moon Fairy project is a big one, with a decent budget. However, to improve product quality and establish more promotional channels, we've spent a lot of funds. We're left with only 20 million for the celebrity endorsement section. At this price point, we could easily find a second-tier or even first-tier star. But if we want to find the hottest and most popular female star, it really depends on their willingness. Our options are limited, and the initiative is in their hands. At this point, Qinyang finally understood. With limited funds and the desire to find the best person, unfortunately, the best often means the most expensive. Especially in the entertainment industry, no star is willing to lower their price. That would be self-sabotage. Only a fool would do that. Qinyang chuckled. Hey, you don't need to worry too much about this. Solutions will appear as we move forward. This problem can definitely be resolved. Han Feishue hit him lightly in frustration. People are panicking, and you're laughing? You really don't understand the pressure. I've worked so hard to secure this project, and we are just one step away. How can I not be anxious? She became more agitated as she spoke. This project represents the hard work of countless people in the company. It's an opportunity for the company's development, even a hope for survival. How can I give up halfway? In summary, this issue is urgent, and I must resolve it immediately. Qinyang smiled again, and then said seriously, Feishue, if I can help you solve this problem, how will you thank me? Han Feishue was so angry that her chest trembled, unable to say a word. You. The anger in your heart was like a raging sea, with huge waves crashing down. I put aside such a big matter of the company to help you plan your housewarming celebration. I contributed my time, effort, and money. After all this, what more do you want? Just asking you for a favor, and you still want to ask for benefits? Qinyang was taken aback. This domineering female CEO had quite the temper. I hope she doesn't get too worked up and break something. All right, I won't tease you anymore. I recommend someone to you. Let us see if you think they are suitable. Who? Han Feishue pinched her slim waist, revealing her fair curves, gritting her teeth. If I'm not satisfied, just wait and see what I'll do to you. Chapter 55, Black Tiger's Urgent Summons. Come quickly. Qinyang felt a bit scared. Wow, who would have thought that the female CEO had such a hobby? Suddenly feeling a chill, he quickly revealed the answer. Lu Cece. What? Han Feishue jumped up. Lu the diva? You can invite her? How? You don't believe me? Of course I don't believe you. Han Feishue was very excited. She is the top star in the music industry, the hottest singer. How could you possibly invite her? Seeing Han Feishue's skeptical expression, Feng Danqing beside her was stifling a laugh, not saying a word. What are you laughing at? Han Feishue noticed something was off and glared at her best friend. Feng Danqing hurriedly waved her hand. It's nothing. I just thought of something funny. Han Feishue held her forehead, looking utterly heartbroken. Oh my gosh. I really chose the wrong friends. I'm almost dying from anxiety. What are you two doing? Still gloating? Oh my goodness. I really have poor judgment in people. Qinyang reached out and patted her head. Little Han, what do you mean? I'm genuinely trying to help you. Why don't you appreciate it? Han Feishua's beautiful eyes turned, and she seemed to catch on a bit. Excitedly, she said, what you just said is true. You're introducing Lu Sisi to me? On what basis do you think she will agree? Qin Yang remained calm and indifferent. Who was it that said they would bite me just now? Han Feishua instantly transformed into a cute little kitten, leaning closer to Qin Yang and playfully punching his arm with her small fists. Sorry, that was me just now. I spoke carelessly, so please don't take it to heart. Qin Yang nodded, adopting a grand demeanor. Ah, this child can be taught. However, if you say the wrong thing, you must be punished. Call me brother and let me hear it. Han Feishua raised her eyebrows and was about to change her expression. Beside her, the strategist Feng Danqing quickly shot her a meaningful look. But Han Feishua was unappreciative and fierce. Why are you making faces? Speak up if you have something to say. Feng Danqing, feeling exasperated, stomped her foot, somewhat frustrated. She quietly reminded her, little fool, you can't turn against him. He really can help you get Lu the diva? Han Feishua looked at her in disbelief. Really? Feng Danqing nodded vigorously. Han Feishua's eyes darted around before she turned to Qin Yang, instantly transforming back into a cute kitten. Brother. Qin Yang's hair stood on end. That one word caught him completely off guard. Usually a powerful and domineering female CEO, she suddenly became a sweet little girl, calling out in such a delicate tone. It was truly unsettling. Han Feishua closed the distance, her expression a mix of laughter and teasing. How is it? Is it enjoyable? Do you want to call again? Qin Yang nodded, and then shook his head vigorously. Yes, very enjoyable. But why do I feel a chill down my back? He asked nervously. You want to kill me to keep quiet afterward, right? Han Feishua's face remained expressionless. Not for now, but if you don't come clean, I might change my mind. Qin Yang shivered, forcing a smile. Rest assured, Miss Han, I'll handle it right away. He then shouted loudly upstairs, Cece, come down, it's time to entertain guests. Uffed. Feng Danqing burst out laughing. Han Feishua's expression turned cold. She wanted to get angry but held it back. However, Feng Danqing kept laughing uncontrollably, doubled over. After a couple of seconds, Han Feishua couldn't help but ask, Cece isn't really up there, is she? Can you actually get her? Does she have availability? Is a budget of 20 million enough? Qin Yang raised his hand to interrupt her. You don't need to ask anything else. Just tell me, is she suitable or not? Han Feishua's eyes sparkled. Suitable? She's absolutely perfect. I'll tell you, when I was considering candidates, she was the first person I thought of. Her temperament and fame will definitely add to the Moon Fairy's appeal. A perfect match. But she's a top-tier star. Her worth is terrifyingly high. A single endorsement starts at least 30 million. I heard that one of her endorsements costs up to 100 million a year. My goodness, such a high price. How can we afford that? Han Feishua sighed. Later, my planning director, not believing in the odds, contacted her agency, but they were unwilling to engage. Don't tease me. Can you really get Lu Sisi? Even now, she couldn't believe Qin Yang's words. Qin Yang shrugged and replied casually, who knows? Let's give it a shot. Han Feishua felt a wave of disappointment. I knew it wouldn't be that easy. The greater the hope, the greater the disappointment. One moment in heaven, the next in hell. The extreme contrast left her feeling empty inside. Qin Yang remained composed, not explaining further. Feng Danqing also played along, crossing her arms and watching the drama unfold. Moments later, when Lu Sisi came down, Han Feishua finally understood why Qin Yang was so confident. Just as Feng Danqing had guessed, there was definitely a story between the two. A prominent star hiring an amateur as a personal bodyguard? It seemed dubious. On the other hand, an invisible wealthy individual willingly took a subordinate role to serve a woman as a small bodyguard. Was this not suspicious? Was it an act of kindness? The collaboration went smoothly, and Han Feishua was 120% satisfied with Lu Sisi. Lu Sisi is also interested in Han Feishua's Moon Fairy project. With Qin Yang's support, the collaboration was quickly confirmed. Moreover, during the final discussions about money, Lu Sisi took the initiative to make a concession, only asking for 18 million in compensation and emphasizing that this was a favor to Qin Yang. Han Feishua seemed a bit jealous and gave Qin Yang a meaningful glance. All right, Boss Chun, your words saved me 2 million. Your reputation is truly valuable. Qin Yang chuckled but didn't respond, feeling quite dissatisfied with Lu Sisi's unnecessary comments. Aren't you just trying to stir up trouble? You don't seem like a good person. He had just helped Han Feishua solve a major problem. And suddenly an idea struck him. He needed to get away quickly. Being caught between 3 women would eventually lead to trouble. One was a charming beauty CEO. Another was a stunningly cold female tycoon, and the last one was an ethereal top diva. Goodness, none of them were easy to deal with. Fortunately, this collaboration ended on a happy note, with Qin Yang being the only one feeling like a victim. He had to escape from his big villa as soon as possible. Who knows what might happen if he stayed too long. In the car, Xiao Yu looked at Qin Yang with admiration. Yang, you are amazing. You really helped Sister Cece find a new collaboration, and now I have a chance for my bonus this month. Lu Cece playfully tapped her on the head. You little girl, always thinking about your own gains. I thought you were worried about me. Xiao Yu giggled, covering her head. Of course I'm worried about you, Sister Cece. But I'm also looking out for my bonus. Qinyang laughed heartily. Well said. Lu Cece rolled her eyes and turned to Qinyang, proposing. Thank you so much today. I'll treat you to a big meal. How about that? Qinyang smiled and replied. No need to be polite. It's just a small matter. Lu Cece insisted. In this world, it's easy to add flowers to the cake, but hard to provide timely help. I must treat you. Seeing Qinyang still wanting to refuse, Xiao Yu couldn't help but interject. Yanggu, just agree. I haven't had a big meal in ages. Give me a chance to join, hee hee. What else could Qinyang say? A big meal it is, let's go? The three arrived at a high-end restaurant, ordered several dishes and a drink. As they ate and chatted, the atmosphere was very pleasant. Suddenly, Qinyang received a call from Dingxiang. What? You're inviting me to accompany you to Kaiyun City for the Stone Gambling Conference? Qinyang was surprised. He hadn't expected Dingxiang to attend the conference as well. Moreover, from her tone, this event was very significant for her, and she needed to give it her all. So, to ensure everything went smoothly, she specifically invited Qinyang to assist her. After considering it, Qinyang agreed to her request, arranging to set off together the day after tomorrow. He also invited her to his housewarming party on the same day, since he was already accompanying Lu Cece. Whether it was one person or two, he was going to be there anyway. Traveling together, it should be no trouble to accommodate both, right? Shortly after, Qinyang shared the situation regarding Dingxiang with Lu Cece. Lu Cece didn't mind. Having a few more people along could provide her with some protection. After finishing dinner, just as they were about to head home, Qinyang received a call from He Hu. Brother, it's late. What's up? To his surprise, this usually calm old agent seemed a bit frantic today. He heard a hurried voice on the line. Brother, the usual place, hurry. Chapter 56. How can a non-staff member get a promotion and a raise? All along, He Hu had given Qinyang the impression of being steady, capable, and calm, occasionally showing a fierce side. He would never be as anxious and restless as today. Qinyang chuckled and, as usual, asked Lu Cece for leave, saying he was going to meet a friend. He told her to head home first and that he would return soon. Turning around, he drove off, feeling uneasy. What had happened to He Hu? Was he in danger and needed rescue? Or was there a special task that required his assistance? The Feng Feng tea house was their usual spot. Upon reaching the entrance of room 8888, Qinyang paused, fully alert, and pushed the door open. Suddenly, a large hand appeared from behind, slapping his shoulder. Hey! Qinyang was prepared and dodged instinctively. Unexpectedly, that hand followed him closely, like a shadow. Slap! The hand hit him, but it lacked force. Qinyang felt puzzled. Turning his head, he saw it was He Hu. Ha ha! He Hu laughed heartily. You brat, impressive. In such a short time, you've improved so much. Honestly, have you realized your skills were lacking and been practicing hard at home, finally reaching the intermediate level? Qinyang broke out in a cold sweat. Tiger brother, can you not do that in the future? Scaring a ghost is one thing. Scaring a person could lead to real trouble. He Hu looked confused. Qinyang rolled his eyes. What if one day my strength surpasses yours and I accidentally take you for a spy and take you down? Wouldn't that be unjust? He Hu was both amused and exasperated. You, with such a bold claim, want to take me down? You might want to practice for another 20 years. Qinyang scoffed. You don't believe me? Tiger brother, just wait and see. In less than 2 years, I'll make you look for your teeth on the ground. He Hu didn't believe it at all. I didn't see it coming. You have such a wicked mind, holding back all this time. But let me make it clear today. If you can defeat me within 2 years, I'll call you brother. You can tell me to do anything. But if you can't, you'll formally join our special operations department and become a pawn in my team, at my beck and call. A great master. Do you dare to gamble? Qinyang couldn't help but sigh at He Hu's eager demeanor. What a cunning old fox. He would use any trick to persuade him to officially join. All right, we are gentlemen, and our words are our bond. The Black Tiger felt a surge of joy. Looking at Qinyang was like gazing at Little Red Riding Hood. Brother, congratulations. Treat me to a meal. Qinyang was puzzled. Congratulations for what? Why should I treat you? The Black Tiger chuckled and explained. You got promoted and received a raise. Shouldn't you treat everyone? Besides, all of this was achieved because I fought for you. Aren't you going to thank me, your benefactor? Qinyang looked skeptical, completely unconvinced by his claims. This old fox wants to trick me into a big meal? Come on. If you're going to lie, at least make it believable. Excuse me, leader. How can a temporary employee like me get promoted and receive a raise? Qinyang stared at the Black Tiger, mercilessly exposing his lie. Are you saying that the promotion and raise are for becoming a senior temporary employee with a bonus increase of 20? The Black Tiger was fuming. He pulled out a red booklet and slammed it on the table. Look closely, you little rascal. What is this? Qinyang was uncertain. Is this guy serious? Is there really a need to be this serious over a joke? He even prepared props in advance. He moved closer, picked up the red booklet, and looked at the cover. An employment letter? What on earth? He slowly opened the inner pages, and his eyes almost popped out. It stated, "This certifies that Comrade Qin Yang is appointed as an advisor in our Bureau's Special Operations Department, temporarily assigned to Group 3 for unified coordination. Date, some year, some month, some day. Issued by Military Intelligence Bureau, Organization Department." A large, clear steel seal was particularly eye-catching. It was indeed the official seal of the Military Intelligence Bureau. Qin Yang was dumbfounded. Holding the red booklet, he nearly dropped it. "Is this real?" The Black Tiger glared at him. "What do you think?" Qin Yang rubbed his temples and sincerely said, "Brother Tiger, you really put in the effort." The Black Tiger instantly shifted from anger to delight, feeling proud. "You little rascal. You really don't know how to appreciate good fortune." He explained the whole situation to Qin Yang. Initially, when they captured Chang Xiaotian, especially when they caught the higher-ups, the interrogation yielded substantial results. They confessed many things. This was a rare achievement for the Special Operations Department in a year. The higher-ups were very pleased and called to commend the Black Tiger. While expressing loyalty and determination, the Black Tiger detailed Qin Yang's contributions. The big boss was very pleased. The Military Intelligence Bureau had found a new talent with great potential. This was a good thing. Seizing the opportunity, the Black Tiger made a request to grant Qin Yang a special reward. The big boss was in a dilemma. There had never been a precedent for this. However, the Black Tiger did not give up and fought for it repeatedly. Throughout the process, the Black Tiger indeed put in a lot of effort for Qin Yang, advocating for him. However, his goal was not just to recognize Qin Yang's contributions. He wanted to bind Qin Yang tightly to the Military Intelligence Bureau and the Special Operations Department. He believed that talents like Qin Yang should be utilized for the country, rather than left to roam freely and do nothing. As an unemployed drifter, or perhaps a private detective or personal bodyguard, is this a legitimate profession? In the end, after much persuasion from Black Tiger, and with the big boss placing great importance on Qin Yang, an exception was made to reward Qin Yang. At the same time, the boss instructed Black Tiger to ensure that he takes Qin Yang to meet him when the opportunity arises, as he wanted to personally see this interesting young man. Hearing this, Qin Yang couldn't help but feel grateful towards the big boss he had never met. In a way, this was a recognition of his talents. Unfortunately, Qin Yang hadn't made up his mind to fully commit to the agency. After all, it was a state institution and a special department, bound to have many restrictions and rules. Who would want to voluntarily put a shackle on themselves? Black Tiger noticed Qin Yang's hesitation. Want to back out? Not a chance. He quickly pulled out a bunch of items and pushed them in front of Qin Yang. In addition to the red employment certificate, there was also a green identification booklet, a set of military uniform, and a set of rank insignia. "Qin Yang, I won't harm you. This is an officer's certificate, consultant for the Special Operations Department, with the rank of major. Do you know how rare this rank is? An ordinary soldier, spending their whole life in service, might never even get an officer's certificate. A military academy graduate might spend 10 years and still not reach this rank. Some people love the military but never get promoted to major. Once they reach a certain age and can't advance, they must leave the service." Black Tiger spoke passionately, trying to stir emotions. "You, at just 22, are already carrying the rank of major. What a stroke of luck. This is absolutely a glory for your family. Do you believe it? If your parents knew, they would definitely burn incense and pray, thanking the ancestors for their blessings." Qin Yang rolled his eyes at him. "By your logic, our ancestral grave must be smoking. Should I go back and take a look? Maybe burn a stick of incense for you too?" Black Tiger's face darkened, nearly spitting blood and frustration. "What kind of person are you? I've worked hard and spoken sincerely, and in the end, I just get a stick of incense?" Chapter 57, A License to Kill. "Do you want it?" At the Listening Wind Tea House, in box 8888, Black Tiger was furious and stood up to leave. "You little brat, don't be ungrateful. If you really don't want it, I'll take it back immediately and return it to my superiors." 3 minutes later, Qin Yang spoke up. "Why haven't you left yet?" Black Tiger leaned back in his chair, looking very composed, as if even 8 oxen couldn't pull him away. However, his face was as dark as water, and he remained silent. He took out a cigarette, lit it, and took a drag, then another. Inside the box, smoke filled the air, as if clouds were rising. Qin Yang sighed deeply. "Hey, Tiger, it's not that I don't appreciate it. I'm just afraid of losing my freedom. I'm used to being carefree, and if I get into trouble later, wouldn't that implicate you?" Black Tiger flicked off the ash. "You're just being overly cautious. Do you think I would harm you? Besides, would I be afraid of you causing trouble? If I were worried about that, I wouldn't have recommended you." He spoke earnestly. "You know why this position is called a consultant, right?" With a deep sigh, he expressed his feelings. "I know you don't like constraints, so I specifically applied for a tailor-made position for you. This is a special case from the operations department. You are the only exception. There has never been this position before." Qin Yang was moved and wanted to say something, but was interrupted by a hand gesture from him. "As a consultant, you will have no restrictions. You have the freedom to act, No clocking in, no office hours. Only occasionally, when we need assistance, you can help out. If you're really busy, that's fine too. We won't force you to do anything. The main point is freedom. By this point, even he felt a bit envious. This is a special case, which is why it's tough for the higher-ups. Do you know how many people envy, or even resent you for getting this position? Qin Yang shook his head in confusion. He sighed deeply. So, if you have the chance, you must visit the higher-ups with me. They really appreciate you. Qin Yang nodded instinctively, feeling a strong resonance. He continued, moreover, each time you participate in an operation, you will receive a subsidy. If you achieve results, not only will you get rewards, promotions, and salary increases, but you can also receive bonuses. In short, the responsibilities are minimal, but the benefits are substantial. Hearing this, Qin Yang was truly tempted and felt inexplicably touched by his good intentions. Brother, I can't thank you enough, he said. He smiled. All right, stop trying to be sentimental. I don't even know who just offered me a stick of incense. Qin Yang felt embarrassed. Brother, please don't take it to heart. By the way, what role does this consultant position play in daily operations? He raised a green booklet. With this consultant identification, you can request local police departments to assist you in handling cases. You can even directly intervene or take over local cases. Qin Yang couldn't believe it. Can such a small booklet be so powerful? He was at a loss for words. Do you think I went through so much effort to get you this identification for nothing? It's not something you can just pick up at a street stall. Qin Yang laughed and gave a thumbs up. Brother, you're formidable. My brother, the tiger, roars in the mountains, invincible. Apart from this, are there any other benefits? He shook his head with a wry smile. I really don't know if bringing this guy into my team is right or wrong. This position has a monthly salary of 10,000, which will be transferred to you on the 5th of each month. How about that? Not a bad deal, right? He felt quite pleased. No work required. Just receive the money every month. Is there a better job than this? Why the 5th? Why not the 1st? Qin Yang's focus was on the payday. He swore, I've never seen a team member like this. Is it still possible to return him? In the next moment, Qin Yang seemed to remember something. Brother, you've talked for so long, but what actual benefits are there? Do you know what my favorite thing is? The black tiger has already been defeated by him. Without saying much, he reluctantly took out a black and gold card from his pocket. This is an encrypted bank card. Any secret transfers in the future can be done through this card. The password is your birthday, and your salary will also be deposited into this card. You just need to send WSSB to DZDL to activate SMS notifications. Additionally, considering your outstanding performance this time, I'm rewarding you with 100,000, which is also on the card. Qin Yang snatched the black gold card eagerly, his eyes filled with excitement. Having money makes things easier. As long as there's money, everything else can be negotiated. Counting his total assets, he has reached 11.9 million. I earn money. I'm happy. This is the true essence of life. Thank you, Brother Tiger. Thank you, boss. After receiving the money, Qin Yang's attitude changed immediately. The black tiger was already used to it. He mysteriously pulled out a small notebook. Guess what this is? Qin Yang was puzzled. He hadn't made him guess about all the other things earlier. Why did he want him to guess this one? Was there something special about it? He rubbed his temples, indicating he couldn't guess. The black tiger looked a bit disappointed. Silly boy, you will definitely like this. Qin Yang still looked confused. The black tiger was completely hopeless. This guy? How could he be so clueless and lack a sense of humor? Would he ever find a girlfriend? Let me tell you the truth, this is a gun license. It's for you. Qin Yang was both surprised and delighted. He grabbed the gun license and opened it. Sure enough, it had his name on it. Wow, I can legally carry a gun now? He suddenly looked at the black tiger and asked hesitantly, does this count as a license to kill? The black tiger hesitated for a moment, nodding and shaking his head. It counts, but it doesn't. The specifics need to be considered in context. Qin Yang was confused. What do you mean? The black tiger explained, strictly speaking. With your consultant credentials plus the gun license, you indeed have the priority to use your firearm for law enforcement and self-defense during missions. As long as you are in an unpredictable danger and determine that it's necessary to shoot, you can act first and report later. After the mission, you just need to report to the superior department for record keeping. Qin Yang was overjoyed. The reason he didn't dare to join the intelligence bureau was his fear of encountering danger and being unable to protect himself. Now with this, at least he has some means of self-defense. However, the black tiger still seriously reminded him. Before you draw your weapon, you must clarify who the other party is. For example, someone who has a higher priority than you, like colleagues or leaders. Additionally, individuals with special identities, such as national leaders or foreign leaders. You cannot harm these people. Otherwise, no one can save you. Qin Yang nodded. I'm not foolish. Why would I mess with those people? That would be asking for trouble. The black tiger also advised him to find time to go to the base with the consultant credentials and gun license to collect firearms and other equipment. Qin Yang was very curious about the special equipment in the base. He asked Black Tiger for a brief explanation. We don't have much equipment here. Just some standard items like listening devices, trackers, drones, and sedatives. But at the headquarters, the range of equipment is extensive and diverse. It's no exaggeration to say that there's nothing they can't do if you can think of it. Qinyang felt an itch of excitement, eager to enter and feast his eyes on the equipment. Seeing Qinyang finally getting into the groove, Black Tiger felt a sense of pride. Look at you, acting all clever, but you're still obedient. Qinyang received one document after another and started to realize something. Damn, no matter how cautious I was, I still fell for their tricks. The names and photos were already prepared, clearly a long-planned scheme. But whatever. As long as there are benefits, why not? Capturing spies doesn't affect making money. Plus, it's a way to contribute to the country, so why not? Suddenly, Black Tiger thought of something. In a couple of days, I need to go on a business trip to a certain city to handle an important case. Are you interested in coming along? Qinyang was taken aback. You're also going to that city. Is it related to the Gambling Stone Conference? Chapter 58. Unexpected Call. The show begins? At the Listening Wind Tea House. Qinyang was puzzled about the connection to the Gambling Stone Conference. Black Tiger nodded. The contact of Chang Xiaodian is named Maiguaza. After interrogation, he revealed an important clue. This matter involves a wide range of people and may implicate a prominent figure from the Jiangnan province. According to reliable information, this person will also attend the Gambling Stone Conference. For the sake of caution, I need to personally make a trip to that city. Qinyang sighed. Recently, everything around him seemed to be pointing towards that city. This was not a good sign. He felt an invisible dark cloud looming over him, suffocating. Brother Tiger, this mission is not simple. You need to be careful. Black Tiger nodded and glanced at Qinyang. I heard you also plan to go? Qinyang forced a smile. Before you, 2 other people have invited me to that city. One is Lu Cece. She is going to attend the opening ceremony as a special guest and perform. I'm her bodyguard, so of course, I need to go. The other is Ding Xiang. She represents a certain treasure house and has invited me to accompany her as an advisor to help her buy high-quality raw stones. Qinyang shrugged. Since I have to go anyway, I agreed. We've already arranged to go together and look out for each other. Black Tiger grinned mischievously. You, my friend, are playing with fire. 2 beautiful women? Let us see how you manage that. Qinyang rubbed his temples. It can't be that scary, right? Black Tiger stopped joking. This arrangement is also beneficial for covering your identity. You can hide on the side, observe secretly, and assist me in completing the mission. No problem, right? Qinyang shrugged. It should be fine, maybe. Black Tiger ignored his playful expression and gave a friendly reminder. Before leaving, remember to go to the base to pick up your firearms. Some special equipment will greatly aid your safety and operations. Qinyang felt a surge of excitement. Who doesn't like guns? No, women like them too. Once the conversation was over, Black Tiger stood up to leave. Qinyang called out to him. Brother Tiger, I'm hosting a housewarming party the day after tomorrow. Are you free? Black Tiger paused, then laughed. You little rascal, nice. You bought a house. Where is it? Qinyang felt a bit proud. At the lakeside. In the villa area, villa number 8. Black Tiger was taken aback. A villa? By the lakeside? That must be expensive. Suddenly, he looked at Qinyang with new respect and couldn't help but give him a thumbs up. You're impressive. I wasn't planning to go, but now I really want to see it. His tone turned serious. Remember, my public identity is the sales manager at a rubber factory in Jiangqing. My name is Li Heihu. From now on, call me Brother Tiger or Manager Li. Qinyang was quite surprised. The last time he visited the mysterious base, he saw the Jiangqing rubber factory and thought it was quite interesting. He didn't expect that he was actually an employee there, with the title of sales manager. The cover identity was convincingly done. As Black Tiger walked out of the private room, Qinyang hurried to catch up. Brother Tiger, is Wang Xiaoya free the day after tomorrow? Black Tiger turned around, looking at him in surprise. What do you want to ask her for? Qinyang's expression was slightly awkward. It'll be lively with more people. If she's not busy, you could bring her along. Black Tiger feigned ignorance. Are you too close? If I remember correctly, you've only met once, right? Qinyang shamelessly replied, hee. Once is a stranger, twice is an acquaintance, thrice is an old friend. Black Tiger gave him a deep look, saying nothing, and turned to leave. Qinyang felt a bit uncomfortable under his gaze. What kind of look was that? Was he suspicious? Meanwhile, Black Tiger was also pondering. This kid is definitely trouble. Surrounded by so many beauties, he is still eyeing more. Wang Xiaoya is a gem from Group 3. A good cabbage shouldn't be let to be eaten by him. That girl Xiaoya shouldn't fall for him, right? When Qinyang returned to Lu Cece's villa, she was already asleep. In the bedroom, Qinyang held several documents, flipping through them repeatedly, his eyes particularly bright. He wanted to tell his parents, your son has finally succeeded, becoming a glorious soldier, a major officer. He imagined that upon hearing this news, his parents would be very happy, especially his father, who would surely thank their ancestors for their blessings. Since childhood, Qinyang always wanted to be someone his parents could be proud of. His father always said he hoped Qinyang would bring honor to the family one day. Doesn't this count as fulfilling that wish? Unfortunately, Entering the Military Intelligence Agency's Special Operations Division is classified. No one can say a word about it, especially not to those around him. The more they know, the more dangerous it becomes. Not knowing, on the other hand, is the best protection for them. Sighing, Qinyang thought to himself. With a thought, he stored away all his documents, military uniforms, and ranks into his personal space. He was tidying up his mood and getting ready to sleep when suddenly, an unfamiliar phone call came in. Hello, who is this? A cheerful male voice came from the other end. Is this Qinyang? Old classmate, hello? I am Shuesong. Qinyang's mind began to search. Who is Shuesong? Soon, he remembered. There was indeed someone by that name among his high school classmates. Oh, are you Shuesong from Qianshan High School, Class 3-2? Shuesong laughed heartily. Yes, that's me. It's been so many years, and it's rare for an old classmate to still remember me. Qinyang felt embarrassed. Who the heck remembers you? There was hardly any friendship, and they hadn't been in touch for ages. Who would remember? By the way, it's been so many years since we last contacted each other. Why are you calling now? Old classmate, I'm just thinking about you after so long. Tomorrow morning, we have a class reunion, and I'm calling to invite you to join us. The address is Shanghai Grand Hotel, 9th floor, Juyi Hall. Qinyang suddenly thought of it. This class reunion was the one Lu Changhe mentioned. However, he didn't expect someone to specifically notify him. Is the sun rising from the west? Thank you, Shui classmate. Why are you being so enthusiastic about this reunion and even calling to invite me? I didn't receive a call for the previous ones. Shuesong laughed heartily. Don't worry, this reunion is sponsored by a wealthy benefactor. You don't have to worry about any costs. Just come over. Because of the sponsorship, we have more invitations than usual. Many classmates who rarely get together will make time to attend. You must come. Qinyang thought for a moment and agreed. All right, I will definitely be there on time. Shuesong sighed in relief. Great. See you tomorrow. Qinyang sneered. When things are unusual, there must be something fishy. A class reunion? No need to think. It will definitely be exciting. He is no longer the person he used to be. He must give his classmates a big surprise. Chapter 59. Playing conspiracy with me? All right. Here I come. In the early morning, Qinyang woke up early to run, sweating profusely. He tried to enhance his strength through exercise. Seeing a pull-up bar, he went over to practice a few times. Ever since he learned about the strength levels of martial artists, he had developed a kind of fear of not being strong enough, wanting to use every means possible to boost his combat power. However, he was just an amateur. He could improve his combat effectiveness through points. What good is running? Moreover, he hadn't drawn any cultivation manuals. Practicing day and night was pretty much in vain. Fitness was merely a psychological comfort. Nonetheless, he was running a lap in the villa area while wearing a sports shirt. The intense gaze of many attractive young women and elegant ladies fell upon him. His solid, steel-like chest and 8-pack abs made it hard for anyone not to drool. After returning to the villa, he took a shower and changed into a brand new outfit that made him look particularly spirited. When he arrived at the dining room, Xiaoyu was already there, having breakfast with Lu Cece. Yang Ji, you look so handsome today. Xiaoyu flattered him, and Lu Cece's eyes brightened as well. The new outfit immediately transformed his aura, giving him the feeling of a refined young gentleman. Qinyang glanced at Xiaoyu and smiled approvingly. Not bad. Our Xiaoyu is becoming more charming. He sat down at the dining table and began to enjoy his breakfast. Cece, do you have any plans today? Lu Cece looked at him. I don't. Why? Do you have something going on? Qinyang took a sip of porridge. I have a class reunion today. If you don't have anything to do, just stay home. I don't feel at ease with you running around. Suddenly, Xiaoyu burst into laughter, accidentally spraying milk all over Chun Yang's new clothes. Lu Cece was startled, and Xiaoyu panicked. The two ladies hurried over with tissues to help wipe him down, creating a chaotic scene. Chun Yang's face turned red, and he waved his hands, awkwardly laughing. Xiaoyu, why did you suddenly? Are you jealous of how handsome my clothes are? Xiaoyu, with wide eyes full of apology, replied, I'm sorry. I thought what you said was so funny, I couldn't help it. Qinyang rubbed his temples, realizing the fault was with him. He got up to head upstairs, thinking to himself that he had originally wanted to show off a bit and look good for his old classmates. But now it seemed that being low-key was the way to go. Xiaoyu looked even more upset. Yang Ji, I'm really sorry. How about I pay for your clothes? Qinyang quickly interrupted her. Little girl, what are you talking about? It's really no big deal. Lu Cece's interest was piqued. You're going to a reunion, right? Are there many female classmates? Is your first love going to be there? Qinyang looked at her in confusion. Why do you say that? Lu Cece smiled. I rarely see you so dressed up. There must be a reason. Qinyang merely shook his head and went upstairs to change. Xiaoyu had a distressed expression as she looked at Lu Cece. Cece Jia, look at me. I've caused trouble again. Lu Cece laughed instead. It's fine. You did well. Xiaoyu was perplexed. What? But Lu Cece didn't elaborate further. Soon, Qinyang came downstairs in a more casual outfit. It was still early, so he didn't set off immediately. Instead, he took out his phone and started making calls. Tomorrow was the housewarming party. and he still hadn't notified anyone about who should come. If he delayed any longer, it would be rude. He decided not to worry about his parents for now and would personally go pick them up tomorrow. Han Feisha and Feng Danqing, they are all on-site organizers, so there's no need to notify them. Lu Changhe and Su Wenqing met today, and it's not too late to discuss further. Ding Xiang has already mentioned it. Lu Sisi and Xiaoya are both aware. Heihu has also informed them. As for Wang Xiaoya, based on Heihu's attitude, it seems unlikely. Only Li Jie and Bai Yuyan are left, and they haven't been notified yet. Chen Yang immediately called Bai Yuyan to invite her to tomorrow's housewarming banquet and entrusted her to help buy a good quality wheelchair for his father to use tomorrow. Bai Yuyan readily agreed, as she has always been willing to help Chen Yang with any requests. Recently, Chen Yang has been quite busy, and it has been Bai Yuyan taking care of his parents, which he appreciates very much. Finally, he called Li Jie. Upon hearing the news, Li Jie was thrilled and immediately congratulated him, promising to bring his wife and son along. As for Uncle and Auntie, I want to inform them. After all, Uncle's status is not ordinary. This is a small matter, so there's no need to disturb him, Li Jie said with a smile. Chen Yang agreed to this. Tomorrow, let us meet and chat. You must accompany me for a few drinks, Li Jie insisted. Chen Yang cheerfully agreed. The housewarming banquet tomorrow is sure to be lively. Getting into his vehicle, Chen Yang thought for a moment before stepping out again. Never mind, let's keep a low profile. What if someone suspects we're trying to show off by renting a car? That would be embarrassing. He decided to take a taxi to the Shanghai Grand Hotel. Sitting in the car, he checked today's intelligence. Ding! Today's intelligence refreshed. Intelligence 1. Huang Sanjin's driver's license was revoked, and he has been holding a grudge. Today's class reunion is sponsored by Huang Sanjin and initiated by Bai Xiaoya, with the sole purpose of targeting you. Intelligence 2. At the Shanghai Grand Hotel today, you will encounter a wealthy businessman who will suddenly suffer a heart attack, facing a critical situation. An advanced technique can save him. Intelligence 3. There will be a small antique auction at the Shanghai Grand Hotel today. A spy has infiltrated the crowd, attempting to buy antiques to send back to a small island nation. Upon seeing the first piece of intelligence, Chun Yang sneered internally. No wonder Xue Song called to invite him. It turns out this gathering was organized for him. Huang Sanjin, Bai Xiaoya, you are quite calculating. This gathering must have been planned for a long time. What kind of trap have you set for me? Can it blow me up? Unfortunately, the intelligence did not reveal their specific plans. It only indicated that Xue Song is their main operative and plays a key role in this scheme. With such underhanded tactics lurking everywhere, this trip is bound to be turbulent. Caution is key. The second piece of intelligence is somewhat peculiar. There hasn't been any intelligence about saving someone before. What does this mean? Is it just a points giveaway? It can't be. The third piece of intelligence is quite important. A spy has infiltrated the country, trying to take advantage of the situation to smuggle our national treasures back to a small island nation. Those schemers are dreaming. Let us see how I can outsmart you. In an instant, Chen Yang had finished reading the information. He took out his phone and called Han Feisha. Feisha, could you do me a favor? Han Feisha rolled her eyes on the other end of the line. Young master, haven't I already helped you enough? What is it this time? Chen Yang chuckled. I heard there's an antique auction at the Shanghai Grand Hotel today. Can you get me an entry ticket? Han Feisha thought for a moment. That shouldn't be difficult. I'll give it a try. Once the arrangements were made, Chen Yang wiped his face and gathered his spirits. There were some people and matters that needed to be settled at today's gathering. It would depend on who played harder and who had stronger means. Chapter 60. The smart-mouthed rich second generation. Can you tolerate not hitting back? At the Shanghai Grand Hotel, it was stylish and grand, reaching high into the clouds. The blue glass facade sparkled under the sunlight. It had the momentum of mountains and the generosity of the sea, making it a landmark building in Jiangxing and the most representative high-end hotel in the city. As Chen Yang walked into the magnificent lobby, he immediately spotted Xue Song, who excitedly waved at him. Old classmate, you finally made it. I've been waiting for you for half an hour. He put his arm around Chen Yang's shoulder, as if they were old friends reunited, warm and enthusiastic. Chen Yang smiled and replied casually, Thanks for waiting, old classmate. Xue Song affectionately led Chen Yang toward the elevator, saying, We're old classmates, no need to be so polite. Many people are already in the private room upstairs. It's going to be lively today. At that moment, Xue Song felt secretly pleased. You poor thing. Now you'll get to experience our enthusiasm. Just wait. Soon you'll understand what it means to feel ashamed. What it means to be at the end of the road. Ha ha. The contrast will surely be delightful. Chen Yang glanced at him, inwardly sneering. Lively. Of course. It will be lively. You guys are going through so much trouble to make such a grand spectacle. If it's not lively, how can it be worthy of your meticulous planning? You're quite the performer, aren't you? Have you taken acting classes or something? What a waste of your talent. If it weren't for the intelligence tip-off, he wouldn't have realized that such an enthusiastic guy was actually a key aide of Huang Sanjin, who was secretly plotting against him. While the two were waiting for the elevator, a young man in a suit walked in through the main entrance. He was Wang Huaiji, the secretary of the mayor, Li Junjiang. A plump middle-aged man had been waiting at the door and greeted him enthusiastically, extending both hands from a distance. Director Wang, thank you for gracing us with your presence. It's truly an honor to have you here. The private room is ready. Let us head upstairs. Wang Huaiji shook hands lightly, and then let go, his demeanor perfectly appropriate. Director Liu, no need to stand on ceremony. Let us go. Liu Weiman was the head of the Municipal Commercial Bureau and usually held great authority. However, in front of the mayor's secretary, he behaved with great respect. He took a step back and stood to the side, allowing Wang Huaiji to walk ahead. He lagged slightly behind, gesturing, please come this way. Wang Huaiji moved forward confidently. Looking up, he noticed a young man in the distance who seemed somewhat familiar. Upon closer inspection, it appeared to be that impressive individual from the mayor's banquet. Qinyang? Yes, that's him. His eyes lit up, and a flattering smile spread across his face. He quickened his pace to catch up. Just then, Qinyang entered the elevator. Wang Huaiji wanted to call out, but it was already too late. The elevator doors closed. He had no choice but to give up. Sigh. It was hard to come across him and wanted to make a good impression, but it slipped away. What a missed opportunity. Wang Huaiji felt disappointed inside. But on the surface, he maintained his composure. His expression unchanged, he continued walking forward. Liu Weiman found it a bit strange, but didn't dare to ask further. In the officialdom, there are many rules. It's best not to ask what shouldn't be asked and to pretend not to see what shouldn't be known. Leading Wang Huaiji. They arrived at the 9th floor. Wang Huaiji looked up and saw the words Qin Yun Hall hanging at the entrance. He nodded slightly and stepped inside. Liu Weiman observed this and felt secretly relieved. The start was good. He hoped to keep it up. Today's theme is about Liu Weiman's nephew, Liu Xianfeng, who is currently the mayor of Qianshan Town in Binhai County under Jiang City. Liu Xianfeng has been in the mayor's position for 5 years. Having grown tired of the town's dullness and backwardness, he wanted to transfer to the city to experience urban prosperity. Liu Weiman had put in a lot of effort for Liu Xianfeng. He not only secured the mayor's secretary's help, but also invited a billionaire entrepreneur, Song Buyun, to accompany them. The Shanghai Grand Hotel is not cheap. If it weren't for Song Buyun picking up the tab, Liu Weiman would indeed hesitate to spend such money. Wang Huaiji was very satisfied. Director Liu had thought of everything. The atmosphere in this gathering was naturally harmonious. As for whether things could be accomplished, that remained to be seen. On the other side, Shuesong pulled Qinyang to the 9th floor gathering hall. Pushing the door open, they found more than a dozen old classmates already seated inside. Some were engaged in enthusiastic conversations, while others appeared more reserved. Some were animated, while others looked gloomy. When they saw Qinyang enter, a few people greeted him briefly. Most remained still, continuing with their activities. Only 2 individuals stood up excitedly. One was Liu Changhe. The other was Chun Yang's best buddy, Su Wenqing. Yangzi, you're here. Liu Changhe exclaimed excitedly, rushing over and pulling Chun Yang to Su Wenqing's side. Old Su, see. I told you Yangzi would definitely come. Chun Yang looked at Su Wenqing and took him in from head to toe. His eyes felt a bit sore. Bro, you've lost weight. Su Wenqing was also somewhat moved, but held back his emotions. Yangzi, incredible. It's been years, and you've learned to be sentimental? Su Wenqing patted Chun Yang on the shoulder, as if they were back in their school days, attending classes and sharing a dormitory. It's been a while. How have you been? Chun Yang smiled and nodded. I'm doing okay, no worries about food and clothing. And you, Wenqing? Su Wenqing seemed to want to avoid something. I'm fine too. I have my hands and feet, and can make a living, no problem. By the way, how's your uncle's health? Chun Yang looked at him deeply. This guy, always so strong-willed since childhood, still the same now. My dad's surgery was very successful, and after some recovery time, he should be completely fine. Su Wenqing was overjoyed. That's great, what a relief. I'll visit him when I have time. Last time, your family had difficulties. I felt really bad for not being able to lend any money. Chun Yang quickly interrupted him. Wenqing, don't say that, I understand. If you have any difficulties, you can tell me. Before Chun Yang could finish, Su Wenqing immediately changed the subject. Good brother, we haven't seen each other for years. Let's not talk about unhappy things. Tell me, how have you been recently? Just now, Delu said you've become successful and have several close female friends. I don't believe it. This guy loves to boast. The 3 formed a small circle and chatted enthusiastically. At that moment, a young man with slick hair, wearing a luxury watch and holding the keys to a luxury car swaggered into the room. Brothers, long time no see. Chun Yang turned to look and frowned. The other 10 or so classmates all stood up and greeted him. Some even enthusiastically ran over to shake hands. Here comes Lang Gu. We've all been waiting for you. Yes. Lang Gu is the richest young man in our county. Just a stamp of his foot, and everything shakes. You guys are mistaken. Lang Gu is not just about showing off. Attracting beautiful women relies on personal charm. Yes. Lang Ji's name is known in our county. Men may not know, but all the women dream about him. As Jiang Lang entered, he was surrounded by flattery and admiration. Only Qin Yang, Lu Changhe, and Su Wenqing remained seated, not giving him any face. This person was the third party who had betrayed Qin Yang back then. How could they possibly welcome him? If it weren't for his wealth, it would have been easy to deal with him. The three's indifference starkly contrasted with the enthusiasm of others, quickly catching Jiang Lang's attention. He glanced over and saw Qin Yang, a provocative look on his face. Oh, I thought it was someone important. Turns out it's just Qin Yang. I heard your dad couldn't afford treatment. Is he dead now? Chapter 61. She's outstanding, you know? Family is Chun Yang's Achilles heel. Whoever touches it will perish. As soon as Jiang Lang's words left his mouth, Qin Yang suddenly stood up and lunged forward like a leopard. He swung his hand and slapped him. Slap. The sound was exceptionally loud. Jiang Lang was instantly knocked down, crashing to the ground with blood pouring from his mouth. Damn it, I'll make you pay for this. Qin Yang was furious, pointing at Jiang Lang and cursing. This scene happened too quickly. No one expected that the usually mild-mannered Qin Yang would suddenly erupt in violence. His strikes were fierce and powerful. Uffed. Jiang Lang spat out a mouthful of blood. With a muffled roar, he shouted, Qin Yang, how dare you hit me? Do you believe I can kill you? He turned to his friends. Brothers, go for it. Beat him to death, it's on me. Just moments ago, his classmates had been fawning over him. Now, seeing Jiang Lang's face swollen like a pig's head, with large, dark handprints, everyone was stunned, staring at Qin Yang's hand. Was that a bear's paw? How could he be so strong? Faced with such a monstrous figure, who would dare to step up? I mean, money is important, but one also needs their life to spend it. Jiang Lang, realizing no one was coming to his aid, became furious and screamed. Pointing at Qin Yang, he kept cursing. You bastard, how dare you hit me? I'll call someone right now to tie you up and throw you into the river. That damn Qin Yang, just wait. Jiang Lang took out his phone, pretending to call for help. The sound was grating to Qin Yang. With a swift motion, he knocked the phone out of Jiang Lang's hand. Crack. He stepped on it, shattering it. Jiang Lang trembled with rage, completely losing his sanity. He grabbed a fork from the table and charged at Qin Yang without hesitation. Damn it, I'll kill you. Qin Yang merely smiled coldly. If you want to die, I don't mind sending you off. Beside them, Shuesong was sweating nervously. He rushed from behind to grab Jiang Lang, while calling on others to help restrain him and drag him to a corner. This was no joke. Today's gathering was arranged by a certain wealthy young master. If Jiang Lang ruined it, the young master would place the blame on him, and he would be in serious trouble. The private room fell silent for a moment. Shuesong urged everyone, telling them not to take the unexpected events to heart, and to continue having fun. Just then, the door to the room opened, and a stylish and beautiful woman walked in. Oh, the stunning Wu Min has arrived. It was said that she had transformed into a millionaire after breaking up with Su Wenqing and getting together with a rich second-generation heir. Now she was living lavishly. Dressed in dazzling jewelry, Wu Min was surrounded by admirers, like a proud peacock. Suddenly, Su Wenqing rushed forward, grabbing Wu Min by the collar, his emotions running high. Wu Min, why did you betray me? I treated you so well. Why did you scam my money, leaving me with nothing and massive debts? Wu Min's expression changed. She shot him a disdainful glance, struggled fiercely, and rip. The collar was torn, instantly drawing everyone's attention. Ah, you pervert. Wu Min slapped him, leaving a clear handprint on Su Wenqing's face. He was stunned, holding his face. I didn't mean to. But Wu Min wouldn't listen to his explanations. How dare you say I betrayed you? Love is free. If you like someone, be together. If not, break up. What's wrong with that? With her hands on her hips, she stood tall. And you still have the nerve to ask why? I was with you for 2 years and never experienced what happiness is. You can't even manage yourself. Yet you won't let me seek happiness? A man's dignity has been ruthlessly trampled. Su Wenqing was so angry that he trembled all over. You pointed at her, unable to say a word. Wu Min, however, was relentless, pointing at Su Wenqing and cursing. You're such a coward. Don't ever slander me again. How dare you say I scammed you? Do you have evidence? Go report it. She scanned the room with disdain. I really don't understand how a delivery worker like you has the nerve to host a class reunion here. Do you think you're still that once successful millionaire? Wake up. Su Wenqing, you'll never turn your life around. You're destined to be a delivery worker for life. The crowd murmured. Back in the day, when Su Wenqing was thriving, he was the envy of many. Now that he had fallen, there were naturally those who delighted in his misfortune. Having become a pauper, he still couldn't let his girlfriend break up with him. Isn't that moral coercion? Indeed, it's ridiculous for a grown man to blame his failures on a woman. If I were him, I would have hidden away in a place where no one knows me, and still have the audacity to strut around here and embarrass myself. Jiang Lang took a break and finally regained his composure. He jumped out again, seizing the opportunity to kick Su Wenqing while he was down. Two losers. Both from the same mold. If you have any sense, hurry up and get lost. Don't ruin everyone's appetite here. Several people who had lacked the courage to stand up for him earlier immediately jumped out to make up for their previous silence. Yes, Lang Gu and Wu Demarin are the real social elites. They have status, position, and money, especially Lang Gu, who is about to be promoted to vice president of the family business, becoming the real Jiangda president. He is destined to inherit the family business and become the richest person in Binjiang County. People around began to enthusiastically flatter them. Wu Min and Jiang Lang were both smug, looking down at Su Wenqing and Qin Yang. Su Wenqing had a strong sense of pride. How could he endure such ridicule? He felt ashamed and wanted to leave, but Qin Yang pulled him back. Don't rush, I've got this. Su Wenqing and Lu Changhe were both emotionally charged, while Qin Yang remained calm and composed. Jiang Lang couldn't stand his demeanor. Damn, a little nobody always acting like a big shot. Is he out of his mind? He pointed at Qin Yang's clothes, shaking his head with a sigh. TSK. Is that outfit worth even 100? Things haven't been going well for you these years. Have they? If you want, out of old classmate goodwill, I can make an exception and arrange a position for you at the company as a restroom janitor. How about that? A monthly salary of 3,000 with social insurance and housing fund. Not bad, right? Qin Yang coldly smiled, not responding. Jiang Lang felt like he had punched a pillow and was quite displeased. Damn, you're already in society, yet you still act so high and mighty? You're just a piece of mud that can't stick to the wall. No wonder you got dumped by Xiaoya. That woman is not only beautiful, but also exceptionally skilled. I just remembered, you haven't even touched her hand. So how do you know how exceptional she is? Qin Yang's eyes flashed with a cold light. He was about to step forward and slap him again when, suddenly, the door to the private room was slammed open. 8 bodyguards in black suits escorted a man and a woman into the room. Their aura was powerful, incredibly imposing. Qin Yang looked up and saw it was Huang Sanjin and Bai Xiaoya. After waiting so long, the main characters finally appeared. The real show was about to begin. Chapter 62. What do you think you are, competing with me for a woman? In the gathering hall, the 8 bodyguards were all tall and strong, exuding a fierce presence. They stood in 2 rows, with Huang Sanjin and Bai Xiaoya walking in between them, their aura overwhelming. The atmosphere momentarily froze. The students around were whispering to each other. Wow, Bai Xiaohua, the goddess in my heart. She is still so beautiful. Don't dream. You had no chance back then, and you have even less now. Haha, I'm actually relieved. If I had pursued the goddess back then, wouldn't I be in the same situation as Qin Yang now? You're quite aware. Aren't you? Beautiful women are won by those with wealth. Qin Yang has no money, so she followed Jiang Lang. Later, she encountered an even wealthier young Master Huang. So naturally, she ditched Jiang Lang. Oh, do you know that man? Is he really powerful? Of course. He is young Master Huang, who in Jiangxing doesn't know him. The Huang family is worth billions, far surpassing the richest family in the county, the Jiang family. They aren't even in the same league. Wow, so impressive. Quickly, let South get close to him. Qin Yang had excellent hearing. These whispers, which the others thought were unheard, were all caught by him. However, he had great control over his emotions, and his face remained calm. In contrast, Jiang Lang's expression was extremely ugly. Just a second ago, he was the center of attention, and now the focus had shifted to that man. He had become merely a stepping stone to the man's immense prestige. Huang Sanjin's expression turned serious as he slowly walked to the center of the private room. He glanced around and saw that everyone who should be there had arrived. The show could start at any moment. A satisfied smile appeared on his lips. The next moment, his gaze sharpened as he spotted the pale-faced Jiang Lang. Who are you? You seem quite unwelcome to me. Jiang Lang's face turned from green to white. Bai Xiaoya quickly leaned in close to Huang Sanjin's ear and whispered. He is the son of the richest man in Binjiang, Jiang Lang. Huang Sanjin took a deep look at Jiang Lang, a warm smile appearing on his face. So, you are the son of the richest man in Binjiang. Very good. I've heard you are quite impressive. Suddenly, his expression changed, and he shouted loudly, Jiang Lang, kneel. Jiang Lang trembled all over, his face pale. Bai Xiaoya also shivered, lowering her head and not daring to look at Huang Sanjin. Everyone was shocked. They never expected young Master Huang to be so domineering. It was understandable to feel uncomfortable meeting an ex, but was it really necessary to make someone kneel? Besides, Jiang Lang was still a rich second generation, someone who could command respect in Binjiang. Was such a strong approach truly appropriate? Of course, if it were Qin Yang instead, no one would find it inappropriate. That guy is just a penniless loser. Kneeling before young Master Huang wouldn't be considered a humiliation for him. The poor don't deserve to talk about dignity. Unfortunately, how Huang Sanjin chooses to act is not for others to dictate. He came today to assert his authority and seek revenge. Since he encountered Jiang Lang, he naturally wouldn't let him off. How dare you sleep with my woman? Even if she's an ex? What's the matter, young Master Jiang? Do I need to personally invite you? Huang Sanjin stared coldly at Jiang Lang, a cruel smile flickering in his eyes. Jiang Lang, filled with grief and indignation, walked step by step toward Huang Sanjin. The crowd grew anxious. Would Lang Ge foolishly lose his temper and attack? If young Master Huang were struck, everyone present today would likely face consequences. Huang Sanjin's bodyguards were on high alert, ready for any sudden assault. Thump! Jiang Lang's knees gave way, and he knelt directly on the ground, tears of humiliation streaming from his eyes. His action was too abrupt, completely unexpected by everyone. The entire room erupted in an uproar. Who would have thought Jiang Lang would actually kneel? He really knelt. Is this still the Jiang Lang everyone knew? Where has the once arrogant, fearless young master Jiang gone? Only Qin Yang sneered inwardly. Jiang Lang's pride was built on his family's status. But when his family encountered a more powerful background, his reliance became a weakness, making him even more vulnerable than ordinary people. The Jiang family had thrived in Binjiang, thanks to the support of several major financial groups in Jiangqing. The Huang family was one of them. So, when the Jiang family's young master encountered the Huang family's heir, he naturally had to bow his head. No one expected Jiang Lang to kneel so readily. Huang Sanjin laughed. Jiang Lang, you're not bad. I'm starting to like you a bit now. Jiang Lang's expression shifted from tragic resolve to one of eager delight. Young Master Huang, as long as it pleases you, I'll do anything. Huang Sanjin thought for a moment, then extended a foot. Kiss my shoe and give it a lick, then I'll believe you. Jiang Lang froze momentarily. The crowd gasped in shock. This young Master Huang truly knew how to torment people, making such an utterly humiliating demand. Wasn't this akin to crawling between someone's legs? All eyes were fixed on Jiang Lang, waiting to see what he would do. Jiang Lang took a deep breath, moved forward on his knees to Huang Sanjin's feet, and smack, planted a kiss on the shoe. Then, without hesitation, he stuck out his tongue and licked the dust-covered surface, leaving a wet mark. The spectators were stunned. What was happening? Who could have imagined Jiang Lang would actually kiss it and lick it? Even Qin Yang was taken aback. Damn, now I finally understand where the term bootlicker comes from. Only Huang Sanjin roared with laughter. Good, very good. You may rise. From now on, behave as my obedient dog, and you'll never lack for bones. After disciplining Jiang Lang, Huang Sanjin's gaze abruptly shifted to Qin Yang. Qin Yang, we meet again. Qin Yang shrugged indifferently. This doesn't seem like something to be happy about. Huang Sanjin's eyes turned cold. Last time, when my driver's license was revoked, was it you who made the call to report me? Qin Yang shook his head and replied. No. Huang Sanjin sneered. If it wasn't you, then who could it be? You have the guts to act, but not to admit it? The call that day was made by Li Jie. How could Qin Yang possibly confess? He shook his head again. It wasn't me who made the call. How can I admit to it? Huang Sanjin glanced at him disdainfully. Whether you admit it or not, I'm keeping this debt on your head. I'm really curious. As a poor loser, where do you get the guts to oppose me? On the side, Jiang Lang suddenly spoke up, reporting some news. Young Master Huang. This kid had some stories with Miss Bai back in high school. Huang Sanjin suddenly realized. Oh, there is such a thing? It seems like you're deliberately targeting me. Looking at Chun Yang's expression, he showed contempt. But you, a poor guy, what right do you have to compete with me for women? Do you believe that a person like you is so looked down upon even in the street massage parlors that they wouldn't let you touch them? And you dare to challenge me? Who do you think you are? Chun Yang shot a cold glance at Huang Sanjin, revealing a mocking expression. You came here today just to insult me? You, a 3-second toothpick, still have the nerve to talk about me? If you didn't have a few dirty bucks, do you think any woman would like you? Huang Sanjin seemed to be hit where it hurt, furious. Shut up. If you keep talking, I'll kill you. Qin Yang rolled his eyes. Wow, are you going to bite me? Bai Xiaoya looked at Qin Yang curiously, a bit confused. How did he know such private matters? Huang Sanjin was about to spit blood, glaring fiercely at Qin Yang. Poor loser, just wait, you'll regret it. If you want to lick my feet, you'll have to see if I give you the chance. Chapter 63. You're a good dog. Here is a bone for you. In the gathering hall, Huang Sanjin's target officially shifted to Qin Yang. Jiang Lang, acting like a dog, was quite perceptive and could be considered a good dog. Without waiting for his master to command, he had already rushed out on his own. Qin Yang, how can you talk to young Master Huang like that? Hurry up and apologize to him. Qin Yang coldly laughed at Jiang Lang. What? You're willing to kneel and lick, but that is not enough for you? You want to drag me down with you? Qin Yang shot another glance at Huang Sanjin. Just because he is an uneducated rich kid, he thinks I should apologize? It's already generous of me not to beat him up. Jiang Lang's face instantly turned pale. Young Master Huang humiliating him was the behavior of an upper-class person disciplining a lower-class one. What was Qin Yang? How dare he challenge him? Before he could say anything, Huang Sanjin was already furious, pointing at Qin Yang's nose with a sinister tone. You beggar, this show today is specially prepared for you. Since you're unwilling to be a good dog, then be a dead dog. You want to be going back today? 8 men in black suits lined up, ready to act at any moment. Su Wenqing and Lu Changhe quickly moved closer and stood shoulder to shoulder with Qin Yang. Together they advanced and retreated. Good brothers. Let us charge together. Qin Yang felt touched in his heart and pushed the two behind him. It's fine, I can handle it. You two just take care of yourselves. Unexpectedly, Huang Sanjin waved his hand, signaling the bodyguards to step back temporarily. How amusing. Do you think I would use force? Wrong. With just a few words, I can make him wish he were dead, kneel down, and beg me. As for whether I accept or not, that depends on my mood. After speaking, he looked at Su Wenqing, a proud wolfish smile on his face. You are Qin Yang's good brother, Su Wenqing? Su Wenqing was taken aback and nodded. I am Su Wenqing, what is the matter? Huang Sanjin laughed strangely. It's nothing, let the show begin. Shui Song, who had been hiding at the back, finally received his master's command. He pushed through the crowd and walked up to Su Wenqing. Wenqing, can you repay the 500,000 you owe me now? Su Wenqing was shocked. Songzi, didn't you say it wasn't urgent and we could take our time? Shui Song's expression was emotionless. It wasn't urgent then, but now I want it back. Su Wenqing broke into a sweat. His company went bankrupt, and he owed a total of 550,000 in debts. Among them, Shui Song was the biggest creditor, with 500,000. Back when he was thriving, Shui Song had begged to invest 500,000. After his bankruptcy, Shui Song had already made back his investment and profited several times over. Out of some old feelings, he didn't rush to reclaim his capital and agreed to wait until Su Wenqing had money to slowly repay it. Who would have thought that Shui Song would suddenly go back on his word? He had just paid back 50,000 and was left with no money at all. His elderly father and seriously ill mother required a caregiver. The burden was extremely heavy. How could he repay this 500,000? Songzi, can you extend the deadline a bit? I really have no money right now. Su Wenqing had to lower his proud head and plead with Shui Song. Shui Song was completely unmoved. He sneered coldly. Wenqing, brothers are brothers, but money is money, and accounts must be settled. If you can't repay this money today, you'll have to use your house to settle the debt. I'll sell your house directly to pay off my 500,000. Su Wenqing was stunned. This was the only house he had, and his parents lived there. If the house was gone, their family would be homeless. With his parents being so old, where would they live? And with his mother being ill, what if her condition worsened or something unexpected happened? Wouldn't he regret it for a lifetime? Song, please show some mercy and extend the deadline for another year, or even 6 months would be fine. If that is not possible, 3 months would work too. I will definitely find a way to repay you the 500,000. I beg you to help me. I still need to take care of my elderly parents. Su Wenqing's eyes brimmed with tears, his tone low and pleading. He felt wronged and was practically begging. However, throughout it all, Shui Song's expression remained cold and unyielding. He was unmoved. Huang Sanjin had promised him that as long as he made Su Wenqing and Qin Yang suffer, the opportunity to make money would be within reach. How could he soften his heart at this moment and still expect to profit? Su Wenqing, how can you be so shameless? Paying back what you owe is only right and proper. You not only refuse to repay the debt, but also emotionally blackmail me into letting it go? Have you no dignity at all? Weren't you the righteous and proud one? What's changed about you today? Shui Song is crushing you relentlessly. If you ask me, those with little should know their place. Stop pretending to be someone you're not in front of others every single day. If you're insignificant, act like it. If you're a dog, wag your tail. That's what knowing your place means. Su Wenqing, do you even realize you're nothing but a worthless dog? Veins bulged on Su Wenqing's face. His fists clenched tightly, trembling with the urge to explode, but at the thought of his elderly parents at home, his hands fell slack in helpless defeat. Brother Song, please. He tried to plead further, but Qin Yang stepped in and stopped him. Wenqing, don't beg anyone. I'll help you repay the money. Su Wenqing stared in shock, doubting his own ears. Not long ago, Qin Yang's father, Qin Zhongshi, had fallen ill, and there was no money for his surgery. Qin Yang's mother, Yang Aihua, had scrambled everywhere to borrow funds, leaving the family destitute. Now, Qin Yang was offering to lend him money, and a sum of 500,000 at that. How is that even possible? Shui Song glanced at Qin Yang and sneered. You're helping him repay it? Do you even have 500,000? Or is it just held banknotes? Zhang Lang pointed at Qin Yang's shabby clothes and deliberately waved a hand in front of his nose. Ugh, what's that smell? Did one of you just fart? A broke loser trying to act like a big shot? Have you even seen what 500,000 looks like? Wu Min couldn't resist jumping in to stir the pot. Birds of a feather flocked together. No wonder you're all such failures. It's downright embarrassing. If you have no money, you should know your place. Kneel down and beg for mercy. Maybe young Master Huang will take pity and let you lick his boots, offering you a way out. But here you are, boasting and getting exposed in a second. Why even bother? Bai Xiaoye took 2 steps forward and looked at Qin Yang, her eyes filled with arrogance and cold detachment. As if she were a noble swan and he were nothing but a mangy dog groveling on the ground. If you're willing to kneel and admit your mistake now, I could ask young Master Huang to go easy on you. Qin Yang, however, burst into laughter. He pointed around at each of them. Do all of you really think so highly of yourselves? Haven't you heard the saying, fortune shifts like the tides? I've been poor for 20 years. Am I not allowed to make something of myself someday? Am I doomed to a life of poverty, forever trampled under your feet? Jiang Lang jumped around like a rabid dog, more frenzied than anyone. Who do you think you are, dreaming of getting rich overnight? With your dim-witted brain. What brilliant money-making idea could you possibly come up with? With your rotten luck, do you really think you could win a 5 million lottery? A lowlife like you should know your place. Wag your tail, and maybe young Master Huang will toss you a bone. Otherwise, just wait to have your bones broken. Qin Yang looked at Jiang Lang as if he were an idiot. Do you get some kind of thrill out of being someone else's dog? Does it feel that good? Jumping so happily. Are you waiting for your master to feed you a big bone? He suddenly pulled out a pig's trotter from somewhere and tossed it in front of Jiang Lang. Good boy, this is for you. After you finish, go help me bite someone. Chapter 64. First love meets green tea. His body is not normal. Feeding a big pig's trotter was meant as a kind gesture. But Jiang Lang did not appreciate it. He trembled with anger, foaming at the mouth. Qin Yang quickly stepped aside, keeping his distance. Hey, you all bear witness. This is just a seizure. It has nothing to do with me. Ignoring the convulsing Jiang Lang, Qin Yang walked directly toward Xuesong. I'll return this 500,000. Please accept it. Xuesong was utterly confused, blankly pulling out his phone. Ding. Transfer successful. Instant repayment, no delay. Qin Yang, with his actions, slapped everyone in the face. Wu Min muttered to himself, impossible. How could he possibly have 500,000? Bai Xiaoya covered her mouth, her eyes wide open, as if she had seen the Yangtze River flowing backward or the sun rising in the west. Huang Sanjin was also shocked. Weren't they all broke? 500,000 just pulled out like that? Is this real? Xuesong's eyes widened as he stared at the transfer record. The next second, he quickly turned around, hunched over, and jogged toward Huang Sanjin, wanting to show the transfer record to his master. Wait, Qin Yang called out from behind. Xuesong looked bewildered. Qin Yang smirked, Master Xue. Hasn't the money returned to you? Xuesong nodded stupidly like a dazed goose. Qin Yang kindly reminded him. Did you forget something? Xuesong rolled his eyes. His brain still a mess. Qin Yang pointed at his head. You know, this head of yours isn't much use. If someone returns your money, and their SNIOU, it naturally goes back. If not, you should write a receipt to prove the debt is cleared. Isn't that the reasoning? Xuesong finally understood. All right, this time. He was obedient and quickly wrote a receipt. Qin Yang took the receipt and handed it to Su Wenqing. Brother, your debt is gone. You don't have to work so hard anymore. Take care of your health to continue striving. Su Wenqing's eyes immediately turned red. He was a proud person, especially after falling from the peak of life to the depths, suffering greatly. His past pride and dignity had become the laughingstock of others. He rejected all concern because he didn't want to be pitted or mocked. There are few who send charcoal in the snow, but many who kick while one is down. At this moment, he felt a sense of relief from a desperate situation. He didn't know how Qin Yang had 500,000, but he could feel Qin Yang's sincerity and kindness. Their brotherly friendship had not faded. Rather, it had become more profound. After suffering for so long, after being tired for so long, repaying the debt felt like a heavy burden lifted from his shoulders. He felt light all over and even found it somewhat unfamiliar. Hey, look at my miserable life. He looked at Qin Yang with a complex expression. Brother, thank you. Qin Yang patted his shoulder. It's nothing, between brothers. We don't need to say these things. Suddenly, Qin Yang turned to Bai Xiaoya. Xiaoya, for so many years, there's something I've wanted to ask you in person. I wonder if you can give me an answer today. There was a story here. All the classmates present were witnesses, and they only had a vague understanding of the story between the two. Today, it seemed they might hear the complete version. In less than a second, everyone had taken their seats quietly, ready to be spectators. Bai Xiaoya looked up, proud like a princess. Go ahead and ask. Qin Yang's expression was melancholic, his tone low. Why did you treat me that way back then? Thoughts danced, traversing time back to their youthful high school days. At that time, Qin Yang was handsome and performed well academically. Many girls took the initiative to show interest. However, Qin Yang came from a poor family and was determined to change his fate through the college entrance examination. He was basically uninterested in anything outside of studying. Bai Xiaoya had average grades and took the initiative to ask Qin Yang for help with her studies. Naturally, he wouldn't refuse. Over time, they built a deep friendship. To Qin Yang, Bai Xiaoya was like a pure, kind, gentle, and ambitious light in his life. When it came time to fill out college applications, Bai Xiaoya expressed a desire to attend the same university as Qin Yang. However, their grades were vastly different. Qin Yang was likely to enter a prestigious university, while Bai Xiaoya was far from it. To fulfill her wish, Qin Yang changed his application to a university that Bai Xiaoya could get into. Little did he know, she ended up applying to a different university, one that she chose with a wealthy classmate. At that moment, it felt as if he had been struck by lightning. He was completely bewildered. What was going on? What happened to Bai Xiaoya? Even Su Wenqing and Lu Changhe were shocked. For a long time, Qinyang and Bai Xiaoya had studied together and communicated frequently, becoming the envy of all the boys in the class. Everyone believed that once they entered university, they would surely end up together. Who could have predicted that before even entering university, they would already part ways? This incident caused Qinyang to develop an inexplicable fear of relationships and women. Throughout his university years, he did not date again. It wasn't until he started working that he met another girl. Perhaps it was a trial he had to face. When he fell for someone a second time, another unexpected event occurred, turning it into a second emotional knot. This is why, when faced with Bai Yuyan, Han Feishua, Ding Xiang, Feng Danqing, and Lu Sisi, Qinyang felt a mix of emotions and didn't dare to open his heart easily. It wasn't that he didn't want to date. Rather, he was afraid. The intense uncertainty and insecurity were terrifying. He feared betrayal and abandonment. The past pain is unforgettable. Today, he must find the answer and uncover the first scar. Only by facing the past can one not fear the future. Bai Xiaoya chuckled coldly. Qinyang, do you have a partner now? Qinyang slowly shook his head. He felt that being unable to resolve his inner turmoil meant that being in a relationship would be disrespectful to women and irresponsible towards feelings. Bai Xiaoya, however, wore a knowing expression and mocked. Of course you don't have a partner. A man who doesn't even dare to hold a girl's hand. How could he possibly think about finding one? During the 2 years we were together, you never held my hand. You're not like a man at all, timid and incompetent. You're destined to never find a woman. She looked at him with disdain. I even suspect you might have health issues. As an old classmate, I suggest you seek medical help soon. Otherwise, who would want to be with you? They'd just be anxious. Qinyang's expression finally started to crack. Bai Xiaoya, don't speak nonsense just because you're careless with your own life. My body is not abnormal. It's just too capable. A man as strong as me. You'll never have the chance in your life. He sneered and glanced at Huang Sanqin. Unlike him, who has to prepare all sorts of props for trivial matters, just to end up achieving nothing. That's what you call anxiety. Hearing this, Huang Sanqin's eyes turned red with anger, his fingers trembling, wishing he could tape Qinyang's mouth shut right then and there. Chapter 65. Get lost, you scum. 2 beauties here. Bai Xiaoya looked at Qinyang with a puzzled expression. Can you really guess such things? Qinyang's momentum surged as he faced Bai Xiaoya directly. I only ask you one question. Did you meet Zhang Lang the day before you changed your application? Bai Xiaoya was intimidated by his intensity and stopped being so arrogant. Yes, we met. He promised me that if I chose him, he would cover all my college expenses for 4 years. Plus, he'll arrange my job in the future, a position with an annual salary of 300,000. Do you think I should choose him, or you? Qinyang sneered coldly. You didn't choose me, nor him, but Huang Sanqin. Bai Xiaoya smiled proudly. That's right. Huang Sanqin is younger and more accomplished. If I don't choose him, should I choose you? You poor losers are just envious and resentful. It's ridiculous to criticize what you can't have. To salvage her image in Huang Sanqin's eyes, Bai Xiaoya leaned closely against him, twisting her waist and acting cute. This made Huang Sanqin feel a rush of blood. Qinyang felt disgusted. He finally saw through this woman, shattering the first knot in his heart completely. Damn, she is really something. I'm glad you didn't choose me back then. Thanks to classmate Jiang for taking the blame for me. With the vast green fields above, I can ride freely and sing with joy. As soon as he finished speaking, all the classmates turned their attention to Zhang Lang, seemingly looking at that vast grassland. How vast could it be? Zhang Lang's face turned green on the spot. Who did I offend? Am I getting shot while hiding? Bai Xiaoya retorted. You're just saying the grapes are sour because you can't reach them. I haven't done anything wrong to anyone. We broke up normally. Who doesn't have an ex? Oh, that's right, you don't have an ex. Because no woman would ever look at you. She laughed so hard that she almost fell over. The other classmates joined in the laughter. It seemed that over the years, there really hadn't been any news about Qinyang having a girlfriend. Lu Changhe, feeling very indignant, said, what do you all know? Yangzi has plenty of beauties around him, and each one is more beautiful and graceful than Bai Xiaoya. It was better not to say anything. Once he spoke, everyone laughed even louder. Ha ha ha. Undoubtedly, these words sounded fabricated, as if they were specifically made up to support Qinyang. However, the bragging was a bit excessive. Bai Xiaoya walked in front of Lu Changhe, striking a pose. Are you sure there are women around him, and they're all prettier than me? Lu Changhe's face turned bright red, stammering and unable to respond. Everyone burst into laughter. Presently, Qinyang, Su Wenqing, and Lu Changhe seemed like 3 big fools, collectively isolated and becoming the laughingstock of everyone. Lu Changhe was anxious, sweating on his forehead. Don't look down on people with your dog eyes. What I said is true. The beautiful president of our company is Yangzi's confidant. I can vouch for that. Shuesong chuckled and patted Lu Changhe on the shoulder. Lu, you're not very good at fabricating stories. A beautiful president? You might as well say a rich woman wants to support him. That would be more convincing. Everyone nodded in agreement, mocking Lu Changhe for being flustered and talking nonsense. Even Su Wenqing couldn't bear to watch anymore and quietly pulled Lu Changhe aside. Lu stopped talking. Suddenly, Qin Yang's phone rang. He answered, said a few words, and then hung up. Shanghai Grand Hotel, 9th floor, Gathering Hall. Lu Changhe heard it clearly and excitedly said, Yangzi, is it President Han? Is she coming over? Qin Yang nodded. Lu Changhe jumped up happily. You bunch of fools, President Han is our President Feng's close friend. She'll be here soon. Let you all open your eyes and see what a real beauty looks like. As soon as he said that, he immediately offended the two self-proclaimed beauties present. Bai Xiaoya was the first to mock. Qin Yang, you're really getting worse. You actually teamed up with Lu to concoct a baseless lie. What beauty? If you have the ability, bring her here and let us see if she really exists. Woman also couldn't accept it. You guys are all poor and pathetic. Leaving you was the best decision we made in our lives. Honestly, it's already impressive that you can survive in this life. Don't even think about women anymore. She laughed exaggeratedly. If you really want to find a wife, you could buy one or become a son-in-law. Who knows, someone might be willing. Of course, I must clarify that I definitely wouldn't want that. Just seeing you all makes me feel disgusted. Jiang Lang, Shui Song, and others jumped out to mock Qin Yang and his group. Huang Sanjin stood aside with a smug smile. The first strike was a financial assault. It didn't succeed. The second strike was a charm offensive. Finally, there was a little effect. Don't rush. There is still a third wave, the ultimate strike. It will surely make Qin Yang kneel and beg for mercy. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of high heels echoed, getting closer. Everyone stopped laughing and stretched their necks to see who was the latecomer. It was Han Feishue, gracefully walking in. Upon seeing Qin Yang, a charming smile bloomed on her pretty face. Qin Yang, your class reunion is quite lively. She walked up to Qin Yang and handed him an admission ticket, teasingly asking, I got this for you. How will you thank me? Qin Yang smiled. Just for one ticket, you want to thank you? If you keep this up, how can I ask you to help next time? Han Feishue pouted. So stingy. The two exchanged flirtatious banter, leaving everyone in a daze. This stunning beauty is really looking for Qin Yang? Is she really his woman? It can't be that she is just a temporary actress for a show, right? Yes. She must be a decoy. A few hundred for a performance. Act however you want. As long as the money is right, even bed scenes can be arranged. Bai Xiaoya was just about to expose Qin Yang's lie when another extraordinary beauty walked into the room. If the first one was imposing and aloof, this one was ethereal and enchanting. Qin Yang, if you need an admission ticket, why didn't you come to me? Feng Danqing walked straight to Qin Yang with a hint of playful accusation. Qin Yang smiled and reassured her, it's the same. I didn't mean to not come to you. Feng Danqing insisted. No, you have to promise me that next time you have something, you'll be sure to come to me first. Before Qin Yang could respond, Han Feishue interjected. Danqing, we are best friends, but why should you be the first? Don't forget, I was the one who introduced you to. No matter what, I must be first. The two continued to argue, while the classmates around them were collectively stunned. What is going on? Two women fighting over one man. No way. Is this another actress? Wow. That doggone Qin Yang must be spending a fortune to hire such beautiful temporary actresses, right? Two at once. And I must say, I like this plot. It would be even better with a bit of private space drama. Hee, I wonder if I need to pay extra for that. Suddenly, a square-faced male classmate excitedly jumped up. Is it really you, President Feng? Chapter 66. Who is slapping whom in the face? In the gathering hall, someone suddenly recognized Feng Danqing's identity. She looked at the other person with confusion. I am Feng Danqing, and you are? The square-faced male classmate, in a fluster, fumbled to take out a business card and handed it over with both hands. Hello, Director Feng. I am Xiao Wang. I contracted a project for your company last time, and I hope to have your support in the future. Feng Danqing took the business card and nodded. All right, I understand, Xiao Wang. You are Qin Yang's classmate. So you're one of us. I will mention it and try to take care of you in the future. However, the quality must meet the standards. You need to ensure that. Xiao Wang nodded repeatedly, his face beaming with a smile. Absolutely. Thank you, Director Feng. Turning around, he bowed to Qin Yang. Thank you. Classmate Qin Yang. Today has been a huge win, attending a class reunion and getting close to a big company. Will there be fewer projects in the future? Xiao Wang was a small but successful contractor who had earned millions within a few years. He drove a BMW and lived in a luxury apartment, and his reputation had spread among classmates. At that moment, Lu Changhe also approached to make his presence known in front of the big boss. Director Feng, you are here too. Feng Danqing smiled upon seeing him. Your reunion is quite exciting. I came over to join the fun. Lu Changhe chuckled and tactfully withdrew. The actions of Xiao Wang and Lu Changhe finally made the classmates realize that these two ladies had impressive backgrounds. Everyone started thinking, since the lady with the surname Feng, who is also Lu Changhe's boss, is a beautiful CEO, then the lady with the surname Han must also be a big boss. At that moment, everyone looked at Qin Yang differently. This guy has some skills. Two wealthy and beautiful ladies are actually surrounding him. He is quite fortunate. Led by Xiao Wang. A group of people immediately became enthusiastic towards Qin Yang, in stark contrast to the previous isolation and indifference. Bai Xiaoya was so furious that she ground her teeth in frustration, her eyes fixed on the two ladies with a look of hatred, wishing she could eat them alive. How could she be overshadowed by Chun Yang's women? She couldn't stand this humiliation. She shouted loudly, startling everyone. Qin Yang, this is impossible. You better confess. Is this all a scheme between you and Lu Changhe? Did he bring in two fake rich ladies, temporary actors, or acquaintances, to sympathize with your situation and specially come to help you? Pretending to be two wealthy women and showering you with attention to elevate your status, right? Bai Xiaoya was hysterical, unwilling to believe it. How could she lose to Qin Yang? With her conditions, how could she possibly be outdone by his women? It was simply unacceptable. Huang Sanjin also couldn't accept it. After meticulously planning this class reunion for so long, he was first slapped in the face and now faced another failure? Unable to hold back, he mocked, Qin Yang, don't get too proud. Even if you have two beautiful CEOs backing you. Based on my inference, it seems you are just trying to ingratiate yourself with wealthy women, hoping to take advantage of their money while also seeking some personal benefits. I hold people like you in the lowest regard, living off others and lacking loyalty. Your character is truly disgraceful. He glanced at the two beautiful women, reminding them not to be deceived by his superficial charm. He is nothing but a shameless scoundrel. The two women exchanged glances and then turned to Qin Yang. Are you a scoundrel? Qin Yang shrugged. Yes, that's right. You finally discovered my true self today? I am indeed a big scoundrel. Hurry and leave me. Bai Xiaoya, Wu Min, Huang Sanjin, and others showed surprise. Is this guy really going to reveal his true nature? Who admits to being a scoundrel willingly? I would never do that. The private room fell silent as everyone waited to see the classic scene of the two beautiful CEOs getting furious and confronting the scoundrel. Suddenly, a flurry of footsteps sounded at the door. Two beautiful women, one tall and one petite, walked in. Lu Cixi? Is that really her? The famous Lu Tianho? Am I seeing things? Everyone's eyes widened in disbelief, rubbing their eyes to confirm it was indeed her. Lu Cixi rushed in with Xiaoya, heading straight for Qin Yang. Qin Yang felt a bitter smile forming. What is going on today? Why are these women here instead of staying home? What brings you here? Lu Cixi giggled. I was bored at home, so I contacted Fei Xue and learned you were attending an auction. I wanted to join, so I brought Xiaoya along. She looked around. Are all these your classmates? There are quite a few of you. I hope I'm not interrupting your gathering. Her cautious demeanor left everyone stunned, jaws dropping in disbelief. Among Qin Yang's women, not only was there a beautiful CEO, but also an absolutely stunning diva. To have sunk so low in character is quite a feat. However, with these women colliding, something is bound to happen, right? Will there be an explosion? Qin Yang glanced reproachfully at Lu Cixi. I told you to stay home, yet you came wandering out. What if something dangerous happens? Lu Cixi appeared like a little girl caught in trouble, pulling her neck back and sticking out her tongue playfully. I just wanted to join you at the auction. Qin Yang shook his head. The auction isn't safe. But Han Fei Xue and Feng Danqing clung to his arms, tugging and shaking him. No, we want to join as well. Let us go with you. The scene was eerily quiet. Dozens of people stood there like a flock of confused geese, staring in shock. This is beyond belief. This isn't Qin Yang being submissive. He clearly has these beautiful women wrapped around his finger, each one devoted to him. They are shamelessly begging for his attention. Lu Changhe, though previously expecting this, couldn't help but feel emotional. As a man, I have to say my brother Yang is impressive. One word, awesome. Su Wenqing was overwhelmed with excitement. Is this really my brother? Is he really this amazing? Jiang Lang, Xue Song, and others were also in a daze. Today has truly opened their eyes. Qin Yang is really something. If it were me, how happy I would be. Bai Xiaoya and Wu Min, these two women, were already dumbfounded. Qin Yang's three partners, whether in terms of figure, looks, temperament, wealth, identity, or status, outshine them by a long shot. What is so great about Qin Yang? Are these women blind? Huang Sanjin was going crazy. How did this guy Qin Yang manage to attract so many beautiful women? You're just a nobody. What gives you the right to possess such high-quality resources? These women should all belong to me. He was furious. He immediately shouted at Xue Song. Go. Bring Lu Daong in. Today, I don't believe I can't handle a poor loser. Xue Song immediately ran out of the private room. Soon, he brought in a tall, strong young man, who was strutting around with an air of superiority. As soon as Xue Song entered, he smugly said, Qin Yang, this time you're finished. Do you know who he is? Qin Yang glanced at him and said calmly. Oh, then tell me, who is he? Why am I finished? Xue Song raised his thumb. His name is Lu Daong, the son of the mayor of Qinshan Town. After saying this, he looked at Lu Daong. Daong, say a few words to let this kid know our power. Lu Daong still had an air of arrogance, glancing down at Qin Yang. With a cold snort, he said, You are Qin Yang? Qin Yang remained unfazed and said lightly, Yes, That's me. May I ask, Mr. Liu, what guidance do you have? Liu Daong put on a show. Currently, Qianshan Town is promoting civilized development and tourism, which is a significant trend. Your house is too dilapidated and old, severely affecting the image of the new countryside and ruining the beautiful scenery of the village. Moreover, the area of your front and backyards is too large. According to regulations, both the house and the yard must be demolished. Qianyang raised an eyebrow. Just because you say it's inappropriate, it's inappropriate? If the house is demolished, where are we supposed to live? Is there any living subsidy? Where will the new house be built? On the original site? Is that even allowed? Additionally, who will pay for the new house? Is there any subsidy for building? Liu Daong waved his hand dismissively. You want to build a new house after it's demolished? All new constructions must be approved by the town and obtain a permit before building. As for your house, it doesn't meet the standards for a new construction. Qianyang was furious. If it's demolished and we can't build, then where do we live? Liu Daong smirked and teased. That's your problem. What does it have to do with me? Hearing this, Liu Changhe could no longer hold back. Liu Daong, what do you mean? On what basis do you demolish someone's house, not allow them to build again, and provide no subsidies? What are you trying to do? Liu Daong showed no signs of fear. I'm not in the mood for anything and don't want to do anything. In short, if you want a house, you have to lower your head. He hurriedly ran in front of Huang Sanjin, grinning from ear to ear. Young Master Huang, don't worry. If he doesn't kneel before you today, I will definitely take his house. Huang Sanjin revealed a satisfied smile. Finally, after a day of being frustrated, I can vent my anger. He patted the hunched-over Liu Daong. You, kid, are quite capable. I'll find you a job later that will make you a fortune. Liu Daong grinned lewdly. Thank you, young Master Huang, for your support. I will definitely do my best to get the job done. After expressing his loyalty, he rushed up to Qianyang. Have you thought it over? As long as you kneel and beg young Master Huang for forgiveness, I can let you off the hook regarding the house. Otherwise, with one call, I can make you homeless. Qianyang's expression turned extremely ugly. The old house at home, though not worth much, was where his parents had lived their entire lives. It was also the ancestral home of the Qin family. If it were forcibly demolished, how would his parents accept it? Wouldn't they be devastated? And the elderly are sentimental. Without the ancestral home, where would they live? Su Wenxing was also trembling with anger, pointing at Huang Sanjin and scolding. What you're doing will eventually lead to retribution. Huang Sanjin sneered coldly. Retribution? What retribution? I've done countless bad things and have never seen any retribution. Money can do anything. With enough money, I can overcome any difficulty and have everything go smoothly. Ha ha. Liu Daong joined in the laughter. You, a poor loser, how would you know the power of money? Hurry up and kneel, or I'll make sure you lose even your doghouse. Suddenly bang. The door to the private room was pushed open. A middle-aged man walked in. It was the town mayor, Liu Xianfeng. Dad, what are you doing here? Liu Daong jumped in surprise. Liu Xianfeng, with his hands behind his back, frowned at his son Liu Daong. What are you doing in Jiangqing? Making such a commotion here? I could hear you yelling from a distance. Do you know where this is? The Shanghai Grand Hotel, where everyone coming and going is either rich or powerful. Don't get into trouble. Liu Daong shrank his neck and smiled. Dad, I'm not causing trouble. You came at the right time. I met an important person today. The young master of the Huang family in Jiangqing. Let me introduce you. Liu Xianfeng's expression turned serious. The Huang family in Jiangqing is a giant. Once you get close to the Huang family, getting reassigned to the city center is just a matter of words. So, under Liu Daong's introduction, Liu Xianfeng somewhat reservedly met Huang Sanjin. Huang Sanjin didn't originally want to bother with him. However, dealing with Qianyang, this father-son duo came in handy. So he reluctantly greeted them. Just as Liu Xianfeng was about to leave, he was stopped by Su Wenxing. Are you the town mayor? Liu Xianfeng nodded. Su Wenxing angrily asked, I heard from your son that Qianyang's house must be demolished, and there won't be any chance to rebuild. Is that true? Liu Xianfeng was a bit taken aback and shot a glare at Liu Daong. He had no prior knowledge of this matter. However, as the saying goes, brothers are good at tackling tigers, and fathers and sons fight together. Liu Xianfeng certainly wouldn't undermine his son. With his hands behind his back, he paced back and forth, exuding an air of authority. Everything will be done according to the regulations. This statement sounded very official. Yet, everyone could tell that what the regulations said was ultimately up to him. Qianyang frowned but said nothing. The local chief was not very prominent, yet he had real authority over this area. Liu Changhe, Su Wenxing, and others were also anxious. At this time, on the 9th floor, in the Qingyan Hall, Wang Huaiji, having eaten and drunk his fill, was leaving with the company of director Liu Weiman. Liu Weiman was feeling anxious. Today's gathering was specifically arranged for his nephew Liu Xianfeng. Yet, when it was time to leave, he was nowhere to be found. At over 40 years old and already serving as the town chief, how could he still be so unreliable? Suddenly, he heard Liu Xianfeng's voice coming from a nearby private room. He quickly said, Director Wang, please wait a moment. I'll go call Xianfeng to see you out. With that, he hurried toward the gathering hall. Wang Huaiji followed a few steps and reached the entrance of the hall. Seeing his uncle and Wang Huaiji at the entrance, Lu Xianfeng hurried over, bowing and apologizing. I'm sorry, Director Wang. I saw my son here and came in to remind him. I truly apologize for keeping you waiting. At that moment, the town chief Lu was no longer the authoritative figure he had been earlier. He had transformed into a student who had made a mistake. The fact that a town chief would treat someone this way clearly indicated that the young man before him was a person of true significance, with power and authority far beyond what anyone could imagine. In an instant, everyone in the private room stood up, showing utmost respect and not daring to be negligent. However, there was one exception. Qin Yang remained seated, unmoved. He even leisurely sipped from a cup of tea, appearing very relaxed. Huang Sanjin secretly rejoiced and subtly signaled to Lu Daong. Lu Daong understood immediately, his eyes lighting up. It was a good opportunity to please the young Master Huang. He rushed over, pointing a finger at Qin Yang, and shouted, Qin Yang, what do you mean? Why aren't you standing up to greet the higher-ups? This is a serious disrespect to authority, do you understand? Chapter 68. Who is the real big shot? At the entrance of the gathering hall, the director of the commercial bureau, Lu Weiman, and the wealthy businessman Song Buiyun were surrounded by others, all gathered around Wang Huaiji. Town chief Lu Xianfeng was especially fawning over him. Everyone could see the dynamics at play. Wang Huaiji was undoubtedly a big leader, with extraordinary power and status. Everyone treated him with great respect and trepidation, except for Qin Yang, who remained completely unfazed and indifferent. Lu Daong was the first to jump out and accuse him of disrespecting the leadership. Soon after, a group of loyal followers, including Xue Song and Jiang Lang, rushed forward to attack Qin Yang. Bai Xiaoya, Wu Min, and others looked on like spectators, as everyone knew that leaders valued their image above all. In public, not giving face to the leaders would surely lead to their wrath, even if they appeared calm on the surface. Behind the scenes, they would definitely be furious, making things difficult for you, ruining your prospects, and leaving you with no way out. Qin Yang, a country bumpkin who had never seen the world, didn't he understand the dangers of the political arena? Sitting there carelessly was no different from seeking his own demise. When the time came, it wouldn't he even require the top leaders to intervene. Just a hint from a local town mayor would be enough to deal with him. Huang Sanjin watched coldly, already laughing inside. The first two attempts had failed, and he was disappointed. He hadn't expected that before the mayor's son could make a move, the mayor himself would bring in a big gun. Given Qin Yang's reckless nature, it seemed he wouldn't even need to take action himself. The top leader would handle it for him. Was this considered using a knife to kill someone? Such cleverness. Huang Sanjin suppressed his laughter. While Lu Changhe was anxious and sweating profusely, he subtly tugged at Qin Yang, but he remained unmoved, more stubborn than a mule. Lu Changhe's sweat became even more intense. Su Wenqing couldn't help but wave his hand repeatedly, signaling him to stand up. Yangzi, get up. Don't make the leaders unhappy. But Qin Yang, deaf to the world, ignored him completely. Su Wenqing wished he could go up and knock him out. That would be better than having him sitting there, discovered by the leaders. Sure enough, Wang Huaiji at the door peeked inside and immediately spotted Qin Yang sitting there. Without hesitation, he stepped in, heading straight for Qin Yang. Lu Changhe nearly fainted. Sweat poured down his forehead like a waterfall. It was over. Truly over. Su Wenqing's hands and feet trembled. He regretted not knocking Qin Yang out earlier and dragging him to a corner. What was wrong with Yangzi? Was he seeking his own destruction? This wasn't his style. Had he suddenly become wealthy and changed his character, looking down on everyone? Su Wenqing was baffled and could only keep praying for safety and peace. The big star Lu Sisi also secretly felt nervous. Only Han Feishue and Feng Danqing remained calm, quietly observing. Xue Song, Jiang Lang, and others were beside themselves with excitement. It seemed Qin Yang was finally about to face misfortune. He had brought this upon himself. Lu Daong and his son, Lu Xianfeng, wore expressions of schadenfreude. How dare he disrespect the leaders? Now he was in trouble. Bai Xiaoya, Wu Min, and others were faint smiles, clearly delighted. If the leaders weren't present, they would definitely be laughing out loud. This arrogant fool was bound to suffer this time. Huang Sanjin watched with great interest. It felt like watching a short performance. The biggest clown, Qin Yang, was finally going to face his downfall. The exciting moment was about to arrive. Qin Yang, you have finally hit the iron plate. Haha, let us see how you meet your end. In just 7 seconds. Everyone's emotions were like they had run a marathon. It was thrilling. Wang Huaiji had already walked up to Qin Yang, showing an excited expression. Hello, Brother Yang. He extended both hands. If I had known you were here, I would have come over much sooner. I'm really sorry. Qin Yang also reached out his hand, preparing to stand up, but was stopped by Wang Huaiji, who wouldn't let him move. Brother Yang, please stay seated. Don't be polite with me. I mentioned last time, if you need anything, feel free to contact me. I'll be there anytime. Qin Yang sat back down. Although his demeanor lacked any official authority, With Wang Huaiji, this high-ranking leader, beside him, it suddenly seemed like Chun Yang was enveloped in a halo. Every move he made carried supreme authority. Secretary Wang. You're too polite. Wang Huaiji, flattered, smiled back. Not at all. Today. The mayor was just saying that Brother Yang hasn't had dinner at home for a few days. Has he forgotten about his uncle? Qin Yang chuckled. Please tell my uncle that I've been a bit busy lately. Once things settle down, I will definitely go visit him and Andy. I also miss little nephew Lele. Wang Huaiji looked on with envy, his eyes turning red. Yes, the lady often mentions you. Especially little Lele, who frequently asks, why hasn't Uncle Qin Yang come? A sudden twist. A shocking turnaround. Wang Huaiji's active friendliness towards Qin Yang, even his obsequiousness, left everyone dumbfounded. What is going on? Shouldn't the leader be furious, scaring Qin Yang into submission? How did it turn into the leader being cautious and fawning, while Qin Yang stood tall and aloof? Has the world gone mad? Especially for Lu Weimin, Lu Xianfeng, Song Buiyun, and others. They all knew who Wang Huaiji was. He was the mayor's chief secretary, a prominent figure in the office. Lu Weimin, the head of the city bureau, also had to tread carefully in front of him. Those close to high-ranking leaders hold significant power, unless you are of a higher rank than the leader. At this moment, Lu Weimin, Lu Xianfeng, Song Buiyun, and others knew they couldn't avoid it. They hurried over, wanting to get acquainted and gauge the situation. Who was this person? Wang Huaiji, ever diplomatic, immediately introduced Qin Yang to everyone. Everyone, today I'm very honored to meet my brother Yang. He paused. You might not know. Qin Yang is a distinguished guest of the mayor's family, a sworn brother of Jiego, and calls the mayor uncle. The lady has even prepared a room for brother Yang at home. As soon as he finished speaking, the room erupted in astonishment. A distinguished guest of the mayor's family, a sworn brother of the mayor's son. There's even a dedicated bedroom at the mayor's house. What kind of treatment is this? It was clear they were like family. His status is comparable to that of the mayor's eldest son, and he can be referred to as the second son of the mayor. Such a person, in the entire Jiang city, is indeed quite influential. Lu Weimin and Song Buiyun both stepped forward, eager to ingratiate themselves. Young Master Chun, you are talented and promising. It's a pleasure to meet you. Young Master Chun, your demeanor is extraordinary, and your future is limitless. Please take care of us. Qin Yang responded with a faint smile, his expression neutral, neither too warm nor too distant. His demeanor was perfectly balanced. Wang Huaiji nodded secretly. No wonder he was so well-connected. This composure and sophistication were worth careful study. It's not just about being aloof to show authority, nor is it about smiling at everyone to gain approval. There's a depth of knowledge in this. Lu Xianfeng also followed Lu Weimin to make an appearance, enthusiastically greeting him, but was stopped by Chun Yang's outstretched hand. This esteemed official, I can't accept your greeting. His expression darkened. Mayor, you have quite the authority. I'm just an ordinary citizen, and I can barely keep my house. I'm hoping for your mercy as the leader of Qinshan Town. Lu Xianfeng's face instantly turned pale, beads of sweat rolling down his forehead one after another. Lu Weimin's heart sank. This was a serious issue. Sure enough, Wang Huaiji's face changed drastically, his gaze sharp as a knife, coldly staring at Lu Xianfeng. Chapter 69. If you can't treat illness, what are you showing off for? As soon as Qin Yang spoke, Wang Huaiji was furious. Lu Xianfeng was so frightened that his legs went weak, nearly collapsing to the ground. However, being an experienced official, he quickly regained his composure, plastering a smile on his face. Young Master Chun, I sincerely apologize. There must have been some misunderstanding. I hereby declare that your house is completely legal and compliant, with no issues whatsoever. I can assure you, no, I can guarantee that it will not be demolished. The more he spoke, the more agitated he became. Of course, with the current tourism development, there are special funds from above for protective construction. If you need renovations or reconstruction, we will fully support you. There will be certain financial subsidies for house repairs. Everything is aimed at building a beautiful countryside and contributing to the tourism industry. Lu Xianfeng's eloquent speech sounded grandiose, as if refusing the subsidy would hinder tourism development. Well, they offer you money and expect you to take on the glorious mission. It's hard to refuse. The official's tactics were superb. Unfortunately, throughout it all, Qin Yang's expression remained as calm as a still lake, showing no signs of satisfaction. This was dissatisfaction. The cold sweat on Lu Xianfeng's forehead surged even more, anxious and fearful. His heart nearly gave out. In the next moment, a glint of fury flashed in his eyes as he glared angrily at Lu Daong. It's all this troublesome offspring's fault. You've caused me great trouble. You little rascal. I'll make you pay. The more Lu Xianfeng thought about it, the angrier he became. He rushed over, delivering a series of slaps. Slap, slap, slap. He hit Lu Daong until his face was swollen like a pig's head, so much so that even his father couldn't recognize him. After more than a dozen slaps, Lu Xianfeng finally got tired and kicked Lu Daong down. You beast. Hurry up and go kneel to young Master Chun and apologize. Lu Daong, with his pig-like head, trembled all over. Looking at the old man's red eyes, he had no doubt that if he refused, the old man would not hesitate to beat him to death. At that moment, Lu Daong was no longer the brave man he used to be. He was as timid as a mouse, shaking with fear. He stepped forward to Chen Yang, but before he could kneel, bang, Lu Xianfeng kicked him again. Thud. Lu Daong fell to his knees, letting out a cry of pain as he curled up on the ground, hugging his knees. Lu Xianfeng's heart tightened a bit, but he still appeared fierce. You little beast. Apologize quickly. Kneeling on the ground, Lu Daong endured the pain, tears welling in his eyes as he lowered his head to admit his mistake. I'm sorry, young Master Chun. I was blind and offended you. Please have mercy and let me go. This scene left everyone in shock. Just moments ago, the imposing Lu Daong had turned into a pitiful creature in front of Chen Yang, a man kneeling in submission. How scared must he be to make such a helpless choice? Seeing this, some were delighted, some relieved, and others fearful. Lu Changhe and Su Wenqing were naturally delighted. Who would have thought that their old classmate, who once struggled, would suddenly become a person of immense power? Such a transformation was astonishing. Lu Cixi was also surprised. She had been worried about Chun Yang facing retaliation, but in the blink of an eye, he had become the center of attention for everyone. What a twist of fate. Those who felt relieved, like classmate Xiao Wang, had quickly changed their stance and finally saw hope for rewards. Otherwise, at this moment, it would be too late to switch sides, and the outcome would likely be disastrous. They wouldn't even be able to collaborate with the company of Mr. Feng to secure more projects. It was possible they wouldn't even be able to survive in the construction industry in Jiangqing. Many were filled with fear. Jiang Lang, Shui Song, Bai Xiaoye, Wu Min, and even the wealthy young master Huang Sanjin felt a bit uneasy. How did this Chen Yang, a once poor nobody, manage to establish ties with the mayor's family? And it wasn't just a casual acquaintance. It was a relationship where they referred to each other as uncle and nephew. Real insiders. That was terrifying. In Jiangcheng, as the mayor, the power and connections he held were unmatched by many. With such a powerful backing, who would dare to look down on him? Not to mention walking with confidence. At the very least, no one would dare provoke him. Suddenly, Song Buiyun clutched his chest, his body swaying, and he collapsed onto the floor. Everyone was in a flurry. As the host, Lu Weimin was startled and quickly ran over to check. Song Buiyun had a heart condition and had just consumed some alcohol, which combined with the shock caused him to suddenly fall ill. He was disoriented and unable to speak, and his complexion looked very pale. It seemed that if he did not receive timely medical attention, his life would be in danger. Lu Weimin was anxious, beads of sweat rolling down his face. Song Buiyun was a billionaire with numerous businesses in Jiangqing. If anything happened to him, Lu would surely face dire consequences. Quick, call for emergency services. Lu Xianfeng, not caring about his son, rushed over to help, frantically dialing the phone. Wang Huaiji was also a bit anxious. After all, Song Buiyun was a prominent figure in Jiangqing's business community. If something happened to him, it would surely cause turmoil in his business empire. A single thread could affect the whole fabric. It could potentially impact Jiangqing's economic development and disrupt the favorable situation. Wang Huaiji, being present, would undoubtedly bear some responsibility. Considering the possible consequences, his expression was quite grim. At that moment, Chen Yang finally recalled the second piece of information for the day. It turned out that the person who had suddenly suffered a heart attack was Song Buiyun. He stepped forward. Everyone, step aside, let me take a look. Under the influence of his authority, everyone automatically made way for him. Approaching Song Buiyun, Chen Yang crouched down to assess the situation. He silently recited in his heart, upgrading his massage technique. Ding! Consumed 30 points. The massage skill upgraded to level 4, achieving perfection. Points remaining, 720. The upgrade was complete. Chen Yang's palm felt a tingling warmth, a faint glow flashing briefly. In an instant, his massage skill had reached level 4, mastering the technique to a master level. At level 3, the massage already had considerable healing effects. Now at level 4, he wondered if it could alleviate the heart condition. Prepared. Chen Yang placed his palm on Song Buiyun's chest and quietly activated the massage technique. The scene fell silent as everyone anxiously watched. Upon seeing Chen Yang's actions, they were all stunned. Could placing a hand on the chest really heal? Lu Weimin felt dissatisfied. If he couldn't heal, why show off? If this delayed treatment, who would take responsibility? He glanced at Chen Yang but didn't dare to lose his temper, feeling troubled instead. Wang Huaiji was also filled with questions. Could Chen Yang really do it? In less than a minute, Song Buiyun trembled and slowly opened his eyes. Lu Weimin was overjoyed. Old Song, how do you feel? Wang Huaiji also asked with concern. Mr. Song, should we take you to the hospital for emergency treatment? Song Buiyun reached out and touched his chest. The tightness and pain he had felt earlier had completely vanished. He felt remarkably refreshed, and with a push of his hands, he stood up. His complexion was rosy, and he appeared energetic, showing no signs of illness. Director Liu, Director Wang, it's not necessary. I feel very good now. Even the old ailment that has troubled me for years has healed. Song Buiyun turned to look at Chen Yang, his expression excited. Suddenly, he bowed at a 90-degree angle. Speaking very sincerely, Mr. Chen, thank you for saving my life. Chen Yang waved his hand with a faint smile. You're being too kind, Mr. Song. If you have time, I suggest you go to the hospital for a detailed checkup. Song Buiyun complied. All right, thank you for the reminder, sir. Chen Yang turned and walked back to his seat. However, Song Buiyun chased after him, respectfully handing over a bank card. Mr. Chen, I can't thank you enough. I know you are not an ordinary person and surely won't care about a bit of money, but I must express my respect for you. Here is 1 million. Just a token of my gratitude. In the future, if you need anything, I, Song, will definitely do my utmost and never refuse. Chen Yang accepted the bank card as if it were just a small gift, nodding with a smile. Mr. Song, you are very considerate. Ding. Gain 10 points. Current total, 730 points. Keep it up. Saving a life earns goodwill. Plus, I gained points and received 1 million. Life is full of surprises. This alumni meeting was not in vain. Checking the total assets, it has already reached 12.9 million. At this moment, everyone present finally realized that Chen Yang was no longer the Chen Yang of the past. With just a casual gesture, he earned 1 million without even caring. Just the connections he has now are enough to intimidate Jiangqing. A guest at the mayor's home, a savior of the wealthy. He could navigate both political and business circles with ease. As he walked back to his seat, Chen Yang suddenly noticed that Liu Daong was still kneeling on the ground. He turned to Liu Xianfeng and coldly said, "Your son is so arrogant outside, oppressing the good people. Is it your support as the town mayor behind him?" Liu Xianfeng was frightened, trembling. Sweat started to bead on his forehead again. He wiped it off and defended himself, saying, "Young Master Chen, that can't be. I have always been strict with discipline and law-abiding." Chen Yang suddenly felt a bit annoyed and interrupted him. "Enough, don't put on airs with me. As long as you don't target my family's property again, I'll be grateful." Liu Xianfeng was so scared that his tongue got tied. Of course, you can rest assured. Seeing this, Wang Huaiji finally understood roughly what was going on. He glared at Liu Weiman. "Director Liu, is this what you call a good town mayor who is dedicated to the people?" He smiled faintly. "Take care of yourself." After speaking, he bid farewell to Chen Yang. Seeing Wang Huaiji leave in anger, Liu Weiman was terrified. He raised his hand and slapped Liu Xianfeng. "You fool, this time you've caused me great trouble." He pointed at Liu Daong. "After we go back, make sure to deal with this kid properly. Don't let him cause any more trouble." After finishing, without waiting for Liu Xianfeng to speak, he ran out chasing after Wang Huaiji. "Director Wang, please don't be angry. Let me see you off." Liu Xianfeng and his son Liu Daong are also very worried. The Liu family has been thriving in Jiangqing, all thanks to Liu Weiman's support. If Liu Weiman falls or stops supporting Liu Xianfeng, their family will be in big trouble. The father and son hurriedly reported to Chen Yang and rushed out. They looked so disheveled, worse than stray dogs. Chen Yang chuckled coldly and turned to Huang Sanjin. "Young Master Huang, you put a lot of thought into today's gathering, didn't you?" Huang Sanjin wore a bitter expression. If the old Huang Sanjin didn't know what suffering was, he certainly understood it now. It felt worse than eating 10 pounds of bitter herbs. He regretted it so much. Why did he provoke Chen Yang? Just because of a small misunderstanding. He attracted such a formidable enemy. Was it worth it? The Huang family has a large business in Jiangqing, with wealth, power, and extensive connections. Those things are not wrong. But they are in the business sector, which values harmony for profit. If this incident leads to the forces behind Chen Yang turning against the Huang family, wouldn't that bring disaster to their family? A business family trying to confront the mayor of a city, wasn't he that akin to a mantis trying to stop a car? Jiangqing is not an ordinary city. It holds significant importance in Jiangnan province, and even in the Dragon Kingdom. Being the mayor here is not a simple matter. Furthermore, in recent years, Li Junjiang has managed Jiangqing effectively, earning great recognition and support from various sectors and higher authorities. It can be said that if the Huang family stands against Li Junjiang, the consequences would be catastrophic. Thinking of this, Huang Sanjin's eyes shifted, and he came up with an idea. He suddenly slapped Bai Xiaoya across the face. "You wretched girl, who told you to stir up trouble? I only said I admired young Master Chen's outstanding demeanor and wanted to make friends, asking you to find a chance for us to gather. Look at what you've done today. You messed everything up and made young Master Chen unhappy. Do you deserve to be hit?" Seeing Huang Sanjin fly into a rage, berating and hitting the campus beauty Bai Xiaoya, Shuesong couldn't stand it anymore and stepped forward to mediate. "Young Master Huang, this incident was indeed unexpected. Please don't be angry." However, when Huang Sanjin saw Shuesong, his anger flared even more. He kicked Shuesong toward Chen Yang. "You idiot. Who told you to be clever and make things difficult for young Master Chen? Get lost. Don't let me see you again." Shuesong was beaten but dared not show any dissatisfaction. He was filled with fear and regret. He stood up and faced Chen Yang, slapping himself on both cheeks. I'm sorry, Chen Yang. Chen Yang coldly looked at him for a full 10 seconds before slightly nodding. Shuesong felt like he had been granted a reprieve. He didn't speak to Huang Sanjin or greet anyone else, and he left the private room directly. Seeing Huang Sanjin looking at him pitifully, Chen Yang coldly smiled but did not respond. Huang Sanjin felt uncertain. After thinking for a long time, he finally had a clue. He took the initiative to walk in front of Chen Yang and slapped himself 3 times. Although it wasn't hard, it was clearly audible. The room fell silent. Who would have thought that the young master from a prestigious family, known for his arrogance, would not only bow his head in defeat, but also slap himself? This scene, if told, would be hard to believe. After his self-punishment, Huang Sanjin quietly observed Chen Yang and noticed a slight change in his expression. Huang Sanjin felt a surge of joy in his heart. It seemed that the tactic he learned from Shuesong had some effect. However, it still felt insufficient, just a little bit off. With a sudden idea, Huang Sanjin magically produced a bank card and handed it to Chen Yang with both hands, bowing and smiling. Young Master Chen, this is 5 million. Please accept it as a gesture of goodwill. I sincerely apologize for today's incident. Everything is my fault. Please forgive me. Wow. 5 million. Just to apologize and make amends. He took out so much money? Everyone in the room was wide-eyed, unable to believe it was real. 5 million. Many people go their whole lives without earning that much. And Chen Yang hadn't done anything, but had someone offering him this. What kind of treatment was this? Is there really such a disparity between people? As a young master, Huang Sanjin was slapping himself while giving money, taking such a low stance. Chen Yang didn't want to be overly harsh and appear as if he was being unreasonable. As long as this guy was sensible from now on and didn't provoke him again. Of course, deep down, Chen Yang also didn't want to rely on the influence of powerful families to do anything. A man should rely on himself. Being strong means being capable on one's own. Chen Yang nodded and accepted the bank card. All right, let us consider this matter settled. I hope you will behave yourself from now on. Huang Sanjin showed a delighted expression and hurriedly agreed, promising to turn over a new leaf and be more low-key. Chen Yang nodded seriously, but inwardly he was beaming. He had made another profit. It was like cutting a piece of meat from Huang Sanjin. This money felt great to earn. It could be considered a form of redistributing wealth, right? Counting his total assets, he had previously received 1 million from Song Boyun, totaling 9 million. And now with the additional 5 million, his total assets had climbed to 9 million. After resolving the matter, Huang Sanjin wanted to leave this place of trouble immediately. He greeted Chen Yang and quickly headed for the exit, eager to escape. Bai Xiaoya followed closely behind him like a shadow. Wait, Chen Yang suddenly called out. Bai Xiaoya and Huang Sanjin both froze, not daring to move an inch. Huang Sanjin turned around and looked at Chen Yang. The small glimmer in his eyes carried an inexplicable tension and grievance. Fortunately, Chen Yang's words were not directed at him. Bai Daxua, don't you think you owe me an explanation for what happened back then? As soon as these words were spoken, Bai Xiaoya's face turned pale with fear. Even the imposing Huang Dajuan was wary of Chen Yang. How could she not be scared? However, when she turned to see Chen Yang's high and mighty posture, with a mocking expression on his face, her heart was greatly stimulated. For so long, she had always been the one on top. How could she allow Chen Yang to act so arrogantly? She was a swan, flying high in the sky, while Chen Yang was just a toad, crouching on the ground. How could she bow her head in front of a toad? In that moment, her mind heated up, and she disregarded everything. Bai Xiaoya held her head high, appearing even more unattainable as she looked down at Chen Yang and coldly sneered. Chen Yang, do you still not understand? In that situation back then, if I didn't choose the son of the county's richest man, would I choose you? You thought I really liked you? From the beginning. I just thought you looked decent enough to give you a chance to help me with my studies and improve my grades. After the college entrance examination, your mission was completed, and you became useless. Of course, I would choose someone with more investment value, Jiang Lang. Is there anything wrong with that? I don't feel I've done anything wrong. So why should I owe you an explanation? Did I ever promise you anything? We never even started. So how could there be an end, betrayal, or abandonment? Bai Xiaoya spoke with righteous indignation. Chen Yang was dumbfounded. The others at the scene were also shocked. No one expected Bai Xiaoya to say such things. At first glance, it seemed reasonable, but upon closer reflection, it felt absurd. Is this something a normal person would say? One side silently sacrifices and gives so much, while the other side only takes advantage. Once you become worthless, they kick you aside and choose another branch to climb. Is this a distortion of human nature or a decline in morality? At this moment, Chen Yang finally saw Bai Xiaoya's true colors. The more beautiful the surface, the uglier the heart. Good, very good, extremely good. Chen Yang laughed heartily, and Bai Xiaoya, seeing Chen Yang seemingly affected and going a bit crazy, felt elated. She finally turned the tables and proudly walked back to Huang Sanjin, wrapping her arm around his. Huang Xiao, let's go. Bang. Huang Sanjin kicked her away, and she fell flat on her face. You wretched person. I didn't expect you to be such a person who loves wealth and abandons the poor. Who changes their mind at the sight of money and is heartless. Damn it. You've been pretending to be pure and gentle with me. And now that I think about it, it gives me goosebumps. Bai Xiaoya was stunned. She scrambled toward Huang Sanjin, crying and pleading, Huang Xiao, I truly care about you. Please don't kick me away. Huang Sanjin slapped her away. Wretched person, go back to Zhang Lang's side. I won't pick up broken shoes. Bai Xiaoya cried even harder. Huang Xiao, the person I like is you. Please let me go back. Huang Xiao, I really love you. Bai Xiaoya was heartbroken and desolate, desperately seeking Huang Sanjin's forgiveness. Huang Sanjin remained indifferent. In the end, Bai Xiaoya finally recognized the situation and understood that Huang Sanjin really didn't want her anymore. She turned her eyes and looked at Zhang Lang. Zhang Lang was startled. No way. She doesn't really want to come back to me, right? As expected. Bai Xiaoya tidied her clothes and fixed her hair to make herself look less disheveled. She stood up and walked towards Zhang Lang. Zhang Xiao, it was my fault before. Please forgive me. Zhang Lang was so frightened that he kept retreating. Are you kidding? Not to mention that Bai Xiaoya had abandoned him back then for the wealthier Huang Sanjin. Even in the current situation, he didn't dare to have any thoughts. A woman that both young masters rejected. How could he dare to touch her? Bai Xiaoya disregarded Zhang Lang's rejection and still walked towards him. Zhang Lang had no way to escape and ran towards the door. Just as he was about to reach the door, he was suddenly called to a stop. Zhang Lang, are you trying to run? Hearing this voice, Zhang Lang's body trembled and froze instantly. He wanted to continue fleeing but didn't dare to take a step. Slowly, he turned around to face Qinyang. Qinyang, what other orders do you have? Qinyang sat there, unmoving, just looking at him coldly. This made Zhang Lang feel uneasy and his legs weak. Zhang Lang, do you have anything to say to me about what happened back then? Qinyang slowly spoke. Zhang Lang's heart was racing, panicking. It's over, it's over. They are bringing up old matters again. How will I get through this today? Chapter 72. Is making money this way considered punishing evil and promoting good? Thud. Under Qinyang's immense pressure, Zhang Lang was extremely straightforward. Without saying a word, he knelt down and begged for mercy. Yanggu, I'm sorry. I am guilty, I apologize. However, I have my difficulties. The events of that year were all instigated by Bai Xiaoya. I was completely passive. You must believe me. At this moment, Zhang Lang didn't resemble the son of a wealthy tycoon at all. He was more obedient than a grandson. Seeing that Qinyang still had a cold expression, he gritted his teeth. Slap, slap. He gave himself 10 big slaps. Until his face was swollen and it hurt too much to continue, he cautiously stopped. Then, Zhang Lang followed suit and pulled out a bank card. Holding it above his head with both hands, he begged Qinyang to accept it. Yanggu, this is 1 million, just to represent my apology. Please be sure to accept it. The scene was very quiet. The atmosphere was a bit heavy. In this familiar scene, no one knew whether Qinyang would accept his plea for mercy. Unknowingly, Qinyang had become the core figure suppressing the entire scene. His every word and action, his joys and sorrows, tugged at the hearts of everyone present. All right, Qinyang spoke blandly. Since the son of the wealthy tycoon is so polite, I will graciously accept it. Now you can leave. He waved his hand as if to shoo away a fly. Zhang Lang felt as if he had been pardoned. A flash of joy crossed his eyes. He left behind a bank card and quickly fled, feeling as if he were slipping away. Qinyang collected the bank card, feeling quite pleased. Taking a little from these wealthy young masters, it felt really good. The amount of money didn't matter. What mattered was that they were uncomfortable. And that made him happy. He was punishing the wicked and promoting good, upholding justice. Taking some money was quite reasonable, right? He tallied his total assets. After just receiving 5 million from a certain person, he reached 17.9 million. Now, with another 1 million added, his total assets had soared to 18.9 million. The 20 million mark was not far off. Great. He never expected that this class reunion would turn out to be his opportunity to get rich. In just half a day, he made a profit of 7 million. Such a speed of making money was quite impressive, right? Was there a chance to do this a few more times? At that moment, Bai Xiaoya was dumbfounded. The wealthy young master had no expectations. And Jiang had already run away. She had lost her backup. What should she do? Who could she find to take over? Bai Xiaoya cried, her beautiful eyes darting towards Qinyang. Smack! A slap landed on her face without warning. It was Han Feishua, acting in vigilance to prevent potential trouble. She gave her a little surprise. You shameless woman. You harmed Qinyang once and want to do it a second time? Do you have any shame left? Get lost. Han Feishua, true to her title as a domineering female CEO, made her move and intimidated the little green tea girl. Bai Xiaoya covered her face, sobbing uncontrollably, no longer daring to approach Qinyang. Over the years, she had carefully managed her way through 3 men, thinking she was strategizing perfectly, always on the path to becoming a wealthy woman. Unexpectedly, this class reunion ruined her financial prospects. Regrets? She truly regretted it. She regretted seeking revenge on Chunyang. She regretted provoking this disaster. But it was too late for regrets. She could only leave in solitude. She had arrived in great splendor. And now she was leaving in utter disappointment. Everyone was on edge. Looking around, none of those who had offended Chunyang ended up well. On the contrary, everyone who had a good relationship with him was set to gain significantly. Classmate Xiao Wang was a typical example. Everyone envied Xiao Wang, Lu Changhe, and Su Wenqing. However, the one they envied the most was still Chunyang. He had skills, a background, connections, and power. He had money and women. This guy had become the most successful one among all the classmates. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 740 points. Keep it up. The conspiracy had collapsed. Chunyang's heart began to feel restless again. The upgrade system required 20,000 points. With a daily accumulation of 40 points, he would have to wait a long time. I need to find some fun to get through the long wait. How about a lottery draw? Let's start a random draw. Chunyang said let's do it. Selection, abnormal level draw. Ever since he got the portable space and golden eyes, Chunyang has developed a strong interest in abnormal levels. The abnormal ones are all rare, unique, and special. Worth looking forward to. Ding. Lottery completed. Congratulations. You have obtained a special skill. Whispering, level 1. Whisper range 1 meter. 50 points deducted. Remaining points, 690. Whispering? Chunyang was a bit surprised. The system is indeed quite unusual. This kind of skill, it's not powerful per se, but it's certainly peculiar. You can only find it in martial arts novels, where only highly skilled martial artists can use it. Is it powerful? Chunyang really couldn't think of what it could do. The portable space can store items, keeping them secret and convenient. The golden eyes can help find hidden treasures and make big money. But what can whispering do? Is it a secret weapon for flirting with beautiful women? Just imagine. On the street, he sees a stunning beauty. She's exactly his type. Hey, I like you. Can we be friends? With whispering, only the beauty can hear it. Regardless of whether she agrees or not, he wouldn't embarrass himself in public. Haha, full of survival instinct. Overall, Chunyang felt a bit disappointed. Spending 50 valuable points for a tool to flirt with girls doesn't seem worth it. Do we really need it to flirt? He hadn't organized his personal information for a while, so he decided to check his info panel. Host name, Chunyang. Host age, 22 years. Theoretical lifespan, 120 years. System level. Level 2, 3 pieces of yesterday's triggered information. 1 piece of today's triggered information. Life skills, enchanting hands. Level 4 full. Driving, level 3 proficient. Special skills, portable space. Level 2, 3 cubic meters. Golden eyes, level 1. Scanning range, 1 meter. Whispering, level 1. Whisper range, 1 meter. Combat skills, fighting technique, level 4 master. Cultivation secret method, none. Combat power level, intermediate warrior. After taking a strength enhancing pill, strength evaluation, with master level fighting skills. Can battle above his level and challenge advanced warriors. It looks pretty good. Skills have increased quite a bit. Unfortunately, the levels aren't high. A lot more points are needed to continuously upgrade skills. Additionally, there's a bit of a lack in combat power. The combat power level of an intermediate warrior and the practical evaluation of an advanced warrior can be improved by taking elixirs or practicing secret methods. Combat skills can also be enhanced through drawing battle skills. In short, one thing is clear, points are needed. Still lacking a lot of points. The entrepreneurial journey is still ongoing, and we must keep striving. A class reunion ended on an unhappy note. Chunyang looked at Su Wenqing and Lu Changhe. Let's change the place and go to a cafe to talk. I have an important matter that I need your help with. The two nodded. Chunyang took Han Feishue, Feng Danqing, Lu Sisi, and Xiaoyu with him. Amidst the envious gazes of the crowd, they left the gathering hall. Chapter 73, Auction Scene. Another big leak. The hotel had very comprehensive facilities. On the top floor, there was an elegantly designed cafe. As they just took their seats, Chunyang got straight to the point. Wenqing, I know about your situation. Don't blame Lu for being talkative. You're facing such a big problem. And if it were in the past, I wouldn't have been able to help. But now I have some opportunities, and the situation is manageable. You must listen to me on this matter. Su Wenqing's expression was unnatural, and he instinctively wanted to refuse. Yangzi, I can repay that 500,000 slowly. Chunyang raised his hand to interrupt him. You must repay it, and I won't stop you. However, you can't let your uncle and aunt suffer alongside you. Moreover, your aunt is unwell and needs to be arranged for hospitalization as soon as possible. Su Wenqing felt troubled, but what can I do? You can't just give me money to support someone who is idle and doing nothing. If that's the case, I'd rather die than agree. Chunyang frowned. This matter was indeed a bit troublesome. He currently had no enterprises of his own. What could he arrange for him? Suddenly, Chunyang had a flash of inspiration. Wenqing, I actually thought of a job for you to help me with. Su Wenqing asked curiously, what is it? He was determined that if it was just an excuse to help, he definitely wouldn't agree. Chunyang sighed. After a while, my dad will recover from his illness. I asked my parents, and they both want to return to their hometown, unwilling to live in the city. Since that's the case, the old house at home looks dilapidated and is damp, which is not good for the elderly. I've decided to tear down the old house and rebuild it into a large villa, bright and sunny, with carpets laid down. I want my parents to enjoy a comfortable life, living like wealthy landowners. Su Wenqing nodded. That's a good thing, but how can I help? Qinyang smiled. You can definitely help. I've been very busy lately, and I have to go on a business trip to another city the day after tomorrow, so I really don't have time to go back home and deal with the house. Therefore, I'd like to ask you to help me go back early and manage the demolition and reconstruction of the house. Su Wenqing was both surprised and doubtful. I'm afraid I can't do that. Your house is the ancestral home. Is it appropriate for me to renovate it? I might not handle it well. Besides, I don't know anything about construction. Qinyang pointed at Lu Changhe. It doesn't matter if you don't understand. I'll assign someone who does. Just let Lu accompany you to handle this matter, and if you're unclear about anything, you'll have someone to discuss with. Lu Changhe was dumbfounded. How did this suddenly involve me? He was still hoping to work as a project manager at the company. I'm willing to help, but my work. Qinyang tapped Lu Changhe's head. You little rascal, the moment you shift your butt, I know what you're up to. You're just worried that your managerial dreams will be delayed because of me. Let me solve it for you right here. After saying that, he turned to Feng Danqing. President Feng, can I still entrust the renovation of my old house to you? Feng Danqing shot him a glance. Can I say no? Then he turned to complain to Han Feishue. Feishue, look at this guy. He has gotten used to ordering us around. The previous tasks aren't even done. And now he adds a new one. Qinyang couldn't help but laugh. All right, you sure know how to perform. Why do you have so many theatrics? I should have Cece introduce you to a director someday. You can join a film crew and play a role. Who knows? You might become famous overnight and earn a title of Best Actress. The girls all giggled. Lu Cece even suggested, why not let you invest in a movie? We could all act a bit and see who has better skills. Qinyang rubbed his temples. You're all big bosses. Who isn't richer than me? Why should I invest? Feng Danqing replied, because we're making the movie for you to watch. The girls laughed again. Qinyang waved his hand seriously. Danqing, when you send someone, also send Lu Changhe along. He is still your person. If he does well, promote him. If not, Lu Changhe's eyelids twitched, and he immediately stood up. I promise to do well. Absolutely. Qinyang smiled. Feng Danqing nodded. All right, it's settled. I will send capable subordinates to conduct on-site inspections. Come up with the best design plan, and only start construction after you approve it. Additionally, Lu Changhe will temporarily act as the liaison. If he performs well, he can be promoted to technician, and with noticeable progress, becoming a project manager is also possible. Are you satisfied with this arrangement? Qinyang hadn't responded, yet when Lu Changhe had jumped in. Very satisfied. Upon seeing President Feng's furrowed brow, he immediately wilted. You said I could have coffee. He shrank his neck and took a big sip of coffee, which was so bitter that he stuck out his tongue. Qinyang turned to Su Wenqing. Are you okay now? Su Wenqing saw that this was clearly being forced into a situation. He had no choice but to nod in agreement. Qinyang was delighted. All right, starting today, your monthly salary is tentatively set at 30,000. You will fully represent me in handling the old house renovation project. Once this is done, I will arrange a new position for you. By then, my career should truly kick off. At the end of the conversation, Qinyang took the initiative to invite Su Wenqing and Lu Changhe to bring their families to the Lakeside Villa for a housewarming party. Remember the address. Lakeside, Villa area. Villa number 8. Su Wenqing was shocked again. He wanted to ask something but was pulled by Lu Changhe, who put his arm around his shoulder, chatting as they walked. All right, let's go. Yangzi has other matters to attend to. Let me introduce you to this villa. At 2 p.m., on the 18th floor of the Shanghai Grand Hotel. In the conference hall, a small antique art auction is about to begin. Qinyang, holding the admission ticket, is ready to enter the venue. Unexpectedly, Han Feishue, Feng Danqing, Lu Cece, and others are all interested. Well then, let's go in together. Thinking about the purpose of this trip, Qinyang is secretly pondering how to deal with it. It's already too late to stop the little brat from participating in the auction. He can only think of ways to prevent him from winning during the bidding process. This is no small challenge. In his urgency, Qinyang can't come up with any good ideas. Ding! Today's intelligence triggered. Intelligence 4. There is an antique at today's auction that is severely undervalued. If successfully picked up, it is expected to yield a profit of 50 million. Qinyang didn't expect that as soon as he stepped into the auction, the system would deliver a big gift, 50 million level. If he can successfully find this super bargain, Qinyang's assets will soar significantly. It's simply a path to wealth. He was originally worried that he might not have enough funds for the upcoming Gambling Stone Conference. Should he sell some of his treasured calligraphy and paintings? But now it seems, as long as he successfully picks up the bargain, the funding issue will not be a problem. Checking the intelligence, on the screen, a vivid horse pottery piece appears. The starting price is Chapter 74, Beautiful Agent, plotting against the little brat. The horse pottery has a base price of 100,000. Qin Yang is overjoyed. What appraiser gave such a low starting price? He must treat him to tea one day to thank him for his brilliant insight. Qin Yang is also curious. He wonders what went wrong with this antique. Why is there such a huge discrepancy between its listed price and actual value? Later, he can use his special ability to carefully examine it. Before the auction, all the artworks will be displayed in a specific area for bidders to admire. He needs to understand clearly so he can make bold bids later. Surrounding the display, Han Feishue, Lu Sisi, and others are quite curious. Each of these antiques looks ordinary. Why are they so valuable? The outsiders are just there for the spectacle. Only Feng Danqing seems to have some insight, but she is not very knowledgeable. She is more interested in calligraphy and painting, lacking depth in other areas. Qin Yang knows nothing about antiques. He is a complete novice. He looks around, not missing any of the auction items. While appearing indifferent, he secretly uses his special ability to carefully scan each exhibit. In his mind, he keeps track of the approximate age, categorizing them into modern art, 300 years, 500 years, 1,000 years, etc. Soon, the display is completed, and the auction is about to begin. Everyone is taking their seats one after another. Qin Yang did not sit with the few women, but instead arranged for them to sit in some strange positions. He instructed them, in a moment, I will send you a message that others won't hear. Don't make a fuss. Just follow my instructions and don't ask why. This matter is very important. Do you understand? Lu Sisi nodded obediently. Feng Danqing, deep in thought, also nodded gently. Only Han Feishue looked curious. What are you doing? Aren't you here for the auction to bid on antiques? Or are you executing some special task? Qin Yang tapped Han Feishue's head. Did I tell you not to ask too many questions? Didn't you hear me? Of course, I am participating in the auction. I'm just making a few small moves on the side. Think of it as us playing a game, a little task. If you cooperate and the game goes smoothly, I will treat you to a big dinner tonight. Han Feishue's eyes lit up. She clapped her hands and said, Great, I like this game. Everyone took their seats one by one. Qin Yang sat in a corner, in the least conspicuous position, silently chanting. Upgrade the secret communication skill. Ding. 10 points consumed. Secret communication upgraded to level 2. Communication range, 3 meters. Current points remaining, 680. Continue to upgrade. Qin Yang ordered again. Ding. 20 points consumed. Secret communication upgraded to level 3. Communication range, 10 meters. Current points remaining, 660. Qin Yang felt pleased. This special skill, the upgrade conditions, are much easier compared to the spatial storage and golden eyes. A 10-meter range seems insufficient. Let us upgrade one more level to ensure everything is foolproof. Ding. 30 points consumed. Secret communication upgraded to level 4. Communication range, 30 meters. Current points remaining, 630. A 30-meter communication distance should be sufficient. At this moment, Lu Sisi, Feng Danqing, Han Feishue, and Xiao Yu were sitting in a forward position, all within 30 meters of Qin Yang. They pretended not to know each other and surrounded a middle-aged man around 40 years old. The man was not very tall and dressed meticulously, sporting a buzz cut. He looked around and noticed that he was surrounded by beautiful women, each more stunning than the last. He couldn't help but feel pleased. Today is my lucky day. I hope everything goes smoothly and I can get the best antiques. If I can also flirt with a pretty girl, that would be even better. This man was indeed the spy from the intelligence report, Kamita Koji. He came to the country disguised as a local, using the name Tian Shower. His main goal was to steal intelligence, particularly keen on smuggling antiques and cultural relics, which had been passed down for thousands of years, back to his small island nation. As a patriotic youth, Qin Yang would never allow the national treasures to be taken overseas. As for his spy identity, he would inform He Hu later for tracking and investigation. Perhaps it could lead to a series of connections related to other spies. Today, the person hosting the auction is a sharp and capable young woman with a slender waist. She speaks eloquently and is very articulate. For every piece of auctioned item presented, she can provide a thorough introduction covering various aspects such as the historical period of the antique artworks, the master craftsman, craftsmanship, quality, rarity, heritage, market valuation, and more. She captures the interest of even those who are not fond of antiques, let alone the audience, which consists of passionate experts in this field. The atmosphere on site gradually intensifies, with bidding enthusiasm escalating wave after wave. The bidder, Kamita, remains calm. At the beginning of the auction, the items being sold are relatively ordinary antiques. He has a big appetite and does not want to divert his attention to these items. He has his eyes set on 3 antiques, all of which are national treasures worth a fortune. If he can secure all of them, this trip will yield significant rewards. Qin Yang has been quietly observing and admires Kamita's composure. Several girls have been waiting for a while, feeling a bit anxious as they cannot understand how he intends to communicate. Han Feishue takes out her phone, keeping an eye on the screen to see if he sends a message. After waiting for a long time without receiving any information, she cannot help but glance at Qin Yang. Suddenly, she receives a text message. Don't look at me. Follow the rules of the game. Han Feishua pouts and can only continue to wait. As the auction gradually reaches its peak, the items being presented become increasingly valuable, with prices soaring. The slender young woman sweetly announces, now we have reached item number 15, a precious piece. Many in the audience begin to show eagerness to bid. The short-haired man finally reacts, sitting up straight and ready to raise his bidding paddle at any moment. Qin Yang feels a jolt of energy and curses inwardly. Realizing that this man has a keen eye, Qin Yang is uncertain about the specifics of this collectible, but he clearly remembers that it dates back at least 500 years, making it incredibly valuable. In terms of antiques, if we disregard other factors, the older the item, the higher its value. Of course, such a judgment is not comprehensive, but given Qin Yang's level of expertise, this is the best assessment he can make. A 500-year-old antique must not fall into the hands of the short-haired man. Qin Yang immediately uses a secret communication technique, instructing Danqing to distract the short-haired man, especially when he is about to raise his paddle. Feng Danqing has been anxiously waiting, unsure of what Qin Yang wants her to do or how to signal her. Suddenly, a voice rings in her ear, startling her. She quietly glances at the expressions of those around her and realizes that only she can hear Qin Yang's voice. Feeling relieved, she subtly nods in acknowledgement. Observe the guy with the crew cut beside me. He's tightly gripping the small sign, ready to raise his hand at any moment. Feng Danqing tidied her hair and shyly asked, hello, sir. I don't quite understand this. Could you please help me with an introduction? The crew cut guy turned his head and, upon realizing that a beautiful woman was speaking to him, felt a surge of confidence. Wow, my charm is still this strong. Looks like I'm in for a treat today. He immediately smiled and began to explain to Feng Danqing, doing an excellent job, even more accurately and in detail than the slender-waisted lady. Feng Danqing occasionally let out a soft giggle, which further piqued the interest of the crew cut guy. Congratulations to this lady for winning the 15th item. A decisive announcement was made. The slender-waisted lady declared the final winner. The crew cut guy felt regretful, caught up in flirting. He forgot to raise his sign, letting someone else win. Women can be distracting. He really wanted to give himself a hard slap. At a critical moment, how could he be so tempted by beauty? The crew cut guy secretly resolved that he would not be swayed by such distractions again. There were still 2 valuable items left for auction. If he could bring them back to his home country, it would still be a significant achievement. He must learn from this mistake. Chapter 75. Another situation arises. The young man depressed and contemplates self-sacrifice. The crew cut guy was determined. From now on, he would not be lured by beauty. If he wanted to flirt, he could wait until the auction was over. Beautiful lady. We'll have a deeper conversation after the auction ends. After saying this, he ignored Feng Danqing and focused on the remaining 2 items. Feng Danqing, feeling helpless, showed a look of disappointment. Out of boredom, she played with her phone and sent a message. Sorry, I failed my mission. However, Qin Yang directly transmitted a voice to her ear. It's okay, you did great, and you've completed the task successfully. A joyful smile instantly blossomed on Feng Danqing's face. Thankfully, she didn't disappoint him. Next, the slender-waisted lady introduced several more items, all modern art pieces of low value. The crew cut guy remained patient and didn't raise his sign even once. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. Here it comes. The slender-waisted lady seriously presented an antique. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached item number 22, which looks extraordinary just from its appearance. The lady on stage was energetically introducing it, causing a stir in the audience. This antique was in excellent condition and very collectible. The crew cut guy tightened his grip on his number sign. As soon as the timing was right, he would raise it immediately, vowing not to miss out again. Qin Yang smiled. The young man had a keen eye? If he remembered correctly, this item had at least 300 years of history and could definitely be considered a rare gem. The young man was intent on taking it back to his home country. With mischievous thoughts in mind, he directly transmitted to Lu Sisi. The crew cut guy is about to raise his sign again. You need to seize the opportunity at the critical moment, intentionally drop your earring, and ask him to help pick it up. Do everything you can to distract him from raising his sign. Lu Sisi was exhilarated. It was finally her turn. This feeling was quite magical. The distance was great, yet the voice felt as if it were right beside her. The most crucial part was that no one else reacted. Only she could hear it. Lu Sisi observed Gui Tianshower's movements while contemplating her strategy. Suddenly, she realized the dilemma and couldn't help but send a message asking, what if my earring falls, and he is unwilling to bend down to pick it up? Or if he picks it up quickly and continues bidding? Qin Yang glanced at his phone and directly communicated telepathically. He asked quite the lecture. What do you think you should do? Lu Cici's face flushed, and she cursed in her heart. Damn Qin Yang. You'll pay for this later. She felt somewhat hesitant. Although she was in the entertainment industry, her persona had always been that of a pure and innocent girl. and she had never filmed any risque scenes before. This was her first encounter with such a seductive plot. The situation left no room for hesitation. Suddenly, the bidding on stage reached a fever pitch. Xiaoping too had held back for a long time and was finally ready to take action, aiming to crush all competitors. Lu Cece brushed her hand and let her earring fall under the seat. Wearing a short skirt and being a stunning beauty, it was quite likely that picking it up herself would lead to an embarrassing situation. "Excuse me, sir, could you do me a favor?" Lu Cece said, pointing to the earring under the seat. Gui Tianxiao was in a crucial moment. How could he afford to be distracted? He glanced at Lu Cece, and his eyes lit up. Another stunning beauty. He was indeed fortunate today. After the auction, he must take one back to his room. But for now, the bidding was the priority. Gui Tianxiao remained silent and turned his gaze back to the stage. Lu Cece panicked, squeezed her throat, and said in a playful tone, "Sir, could you please help me?" Gui Tianxiao felt a thrill and couldn't he help but look at Lu Cece again. Lu Cece gazed at him with flirtatious eyes. Blinking rapidly, she sent 3 flirtatious signals, then pointed with her delicate fingers downward, directing his attention beneath the seat. Wait, it was under her skirt. Unbeknownst to her, her short skirt had ridden up slightly, revealing her fair legs. Gui Tianxiao's eyes widened in an instant. One could imagine that if he squatted down to pick up the earring, he would surely see more enticing views. With a rush of excitement, he slowly crouched down, his eyes scanning like searchlights. As his gaze lowered, the scenery became increasingly captivating. The young man's dirty face broke into a foolish grin. At that moment, his hand had already touched the earring. However, he deliberately stayed crouched, trying to peek deeper into the hidden realms. Unfortunately, he was overthinking it. Lu Cece would never let him succeed. Just as he was about to reap more rewards, Lu Cece suddenly stood up, pretending to give Gui Tianxiao space, concealing all her alluring views. "Sir, did you find it?" "Thank you." Kumada Koji was extremely disappointed. He was just a little bit away from seeing a better view. If he had known, he would have acted faster. When he returned to his seat and looked up, he heard a clap. The 22nd item had been won by someone. "Congratulations." A slender young lady was announcing that the previous item had been bid on by an elderly man with gray hair. Kumada Koji was stunned. What? How did he miss it again? Sweat began to bead on his forehead. He gritted his teeth in frustration. How could he let such a disaster happen again? To make the same mistake twice was unforgivable. He felt he should commit seppuku to apologize for his failure. Fortunately, no one knew about this incident for now. It shouldn't be a big problem. What was going on today? Why did he miss out 2 times in a row? Reflecting on it, it was still his lust that had caused the trouble. When would he be able to change this flaw? Kumada Koji was an outstanding spy. He realized that both of his mistakes had been caused by women. The third time had to succeed. The third item he had his eye on was the most valuable one. For a small island nation, it held significant meaning. He absolutely could not make another mistake. He secretly resolved that if he failed this time, he would have to cut off his own desires completely. Only by doing so could he remain focused on the mission, without any distractions, and give his all to accomplish it. Lu Cece quietly sent a message. "Qinyang, has my mission been completed?" Qinyang replied directly. "Very well. Absolutely perfect. I didn't expect your acting skills to be so impressive." Lu Cece smiled proudly. "Of course, I'm an all-rounder." Qinyang hesitated for a moment. "You didn't really let him see it, did you?" Lu Cece pouted in anger. "Go away." Qinyang continued. "If he had acted a bit faster, what would you have done?" Lu Cece smiled confidently. "Even if he had acted faster, it wouldn't matter. I was wearing safety shorts. What do you think he could see?" Qinyang was thoroughly impressed. "Lu Cece is incredibly clever. I'm not swayed by anything else, just by you." Their little actions were noticed by Han Feishua, who felt anxious as if she were being scratched by a cat. She actively sent a message, asking to be involved. "Can I go next, please?" Qinyang replied telepathically. "Are you sure you can handle it?" Han Feishua sent an angry emoji. "Why can't I?" Qinyang reminded her kindly. "Your position is behind him. It would be hard to pull off any tricks. Xiaoya is in front, making it easier for her to take action. What do you think?" Han Feishua grew anxious. "Not good enough. I don't care. This time, it has to be me." Chapter 76. An unbelievable leak. Earning 50 million. Han Feishua was eager for battle. Qinyang felt helpless. "All right, if you want to go, fine. But you must complete the mission. Otherwise, just wait and see how I punish you." Han Feishua felt a tickle of curiosity. She wanted to ask how he would punish her, but ultimately held back. Reporting to the leader, "I guarantee to complete the mission." Qinyang ordered seriously. "Go ahead. I'll be waiting for your good news." Both parties are fully prepared. Kamita Koji swears to secure the third piece of the collection. Han Feishua has also made a solemn pledge to complete the task. On stage, a slender-waisted lady is energetically introducing the 26th auction item. Suddenly, Kamita Koji raises his paddle without warning, catching Han Feishua off guard. "Ah, that little buzz cut is playing tricks." He raised his paddle without any prior indication. Clearly, He's on guard against sabotage. This is it. If I fail to complete the task, I'll be humiliated. Han Feishue is feeling very dejected. She rushed to take action, but ended up making a mess of things. Will Qinyang blame her? He must be very disappointed, right? Should she continue now? Han Feishue is in a state of panic and confusion. She quickly sends a message to Qinyang for help. Do I still need to intercept? I'm sorry. I messed up. At this moment, Qinyang is equally stunned. What the heck? There's this kind of operation? This little guy is really something. Cunning as a monkey. It's obviously just a modern artwork, with no special value. But he suddenly raises the paddle. What does that mean? Clearly, he wants to test the waters and see if anyone will come out to sabotage. At the same time, it serves to confuse people, making it hard to grasp his behavior patterns. Unfortunately for him, he ran into Qinyang today, someone who sees through the truth. No matter what kind of feints he tries, whether it's a distraction or fishing in troubled waters, he can't escape my precise targeting. Qinyang directly sends a voice message to Han Feishue. Feishue, don't panic. The 26th auction item is just a modern artwork. It's not valuable at all. P.S. Trying to confuse you. Don't fall for it. Just let him bid. We'll play along and let him relax his guard. When it's time to act, I will remind you. Han Feishue patted her chest and let out a sigh of relief. Oh my, that scared me. This little buzz cut is too sly. Full of tricks. I really want to slap him and send him straight to the underworld. Sure enough, Kamita Koji successfully secured the 26th auction item. He proudly waved to the crowd, especially focusing on the two beautiful ladies on his left and right. The previous two times, it was their unexpected interruption that caused him to miss out. Kamita Koji also wanted to see their reactions. However, Lu Cixi and Feng Danxing didn't even glance at him. Completely indifferent. Huh, what is going on here? The little guy is bewildered. Could it be that the previous two times were really just accidents? That can't be. Unable to figure it out, he decides not to think about it. Anyway, for the third piece of the collection, Kamita Koji has decided that, no matter what, he won't be swayed by the beauties. If he doesn't succeed, he'll take drastic measures. On stage, after auctioning off several modern artworks, the slender-waisted lady finally presents today's grand finale. Her voice rises in excitement. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. The thrilling moment is about to arrive. This is the 30th item up for auction, the most precious treasure of the entire event. The young lady was passionately promoting it, speaking as if it were the most magnificent thing in the world. Everyone present was drawn in by her enthusiasm, fixated on that rare gem on stage. Many in the audience were still holding back, waiting for this moment to secure this great treasure. Such a rarity has become increasingly uncommon at auctions in recent years. Acquiring it would mean a significant gain. Who wouldn't be tempted? Kamita Koji's eyes were already turning red. This was the last piece he had his sights on, and it was the most valuable one, comparable to a national treasure. If he could bring this treasure back to his small island nation, he would be a hero. But if he failed, the loss would be too great. He would have to take drastic measures to atone for his failure. At this moment, Qinyang's expression also turned serious. This antique was truly extraordinary, dating back over 1,000 years. Such a treasure, if kept in the country, would be considered a shame to lose. It should be preserved in a museum for everyone to admire. If it were stolen, it would be a national disgrace. He hoped Han Feishue would have a clever plan to deal with the situation. As expected, the release of the 1,000-year-old treasure caused a sensation. Initially, more than 10 wealthy individuals were competing for it. Eventually, only 2 remained, both unwilling to give up, but they were nearing their limits, struggling to raise their bids incrementally. Kamita Koji had sharp instincts. He seized the perfect moment to act. If he made a high bid now, he could overwhelm the other 2 buyers with his confidence and secure the treasure easily. His hands were trembling with excitement as he prepared to stand up and raise his bidding paddle high, projecting an aura of dominance. Suddenly, a large cup of hot water splashed over him from behind. Kamita Koji yelped in pain, jumping up from his seat, his bidding paddle already thrown to the ground. Staff rushed over to assist with his burns. Han Feishue looked apologetic. I'm so sorry. It was an accident. I'll cover all your medical expenses and any compensation for lost time or emotional distress. Her willingness to take responsibility was commendable. What more could he say? Kamita Koji felt utterly frustrated, almost wishing he could disappear. Just as he was about to secure the most significant antique, an unexpected incident had occurred. This time, he hadn't even been distracted by beauty. Surely he wouldn't have to take such drastic measures, right? The staff quickly fashioned a makeshift stretcher to rush Kamita Koji to the hospital. As he was lifted onto the stretcher, he immediately cried out in agony. The staff apologized profusely, having forgotten that his burn was on his back. Lying down like that must have been excruciating, likely tearing off a large piece of skin. Kamita Koji was taken away, but the auction had to continue. Qinyang couldn't help but give a thumbs up. All 3 women performed excellently, each successfully completing their tasks. If we talk about satisfaction, it has to be our fierce female leader. Just thinking about it is intimidating. After downing that large cup of water, wouldn't tea that peel off a layer of skin? Han Feishue was overjoyed. Lu Sisi and Feng Danqing pouted and said nothing. Ding. Gained 10 points. Current total, 640 points. Keep it up. They disrupted the enemy's scheme and earned 10 points, contributing to their patriotic spirit. On stage, the auction was nearing its end. The charming lady smiled and said, "Thank you all for your support today. As a token of appreciation from the organizers, we have a little item to present at the end of the auction." She took out a Qing Dynasty ceramic horse, starting at an auction price of 100,000. Qin Yang's heart stirred. It had finally arrived. Among all the precious items at today's auction, besides that ancient artifact, this Qing Dynasty ceramic horse was the most valuable. Worth 50 million. Chapter 77. So small, how dare you say big? The amusing part was that the auction house set the starting price of the 50 million antique at only 100,000. The discrepancy in value was enormous. Why was that? Qinyang already knew the answer. Unfortunately, the people present were unaware. The Qing Dynasty ceramic horse wasn't particularly old or rare. Its only commendable aspect was its exquisite craftsmanship. Consequently, the enthusiasm for bidding was generally low. At the start of the bidding, there were 8 participants. At this moment, Qinyang did not participate but quietly observed, waiting for the best opportunity. When the price reached 300,000, for people had already given up, as the actual value of the Qing Dynasty ceramic horse was around that price. What was the point of bidding higher? At this time, Qinyang made his move, raising his paddle and offering 350,000, increasing the bid by 50,000 all at once. This immediately scared off 3 bidders, leaving just one who was still in the game. Previously, each bid had increased by 10,000, but Qinyang broke the pattern and raised the price significantly, showing his determination to win. The others had no choice but to give up. The last remaining bidder was a middle-aged wealthy businessman who had a keen interest in ceramics and, with his deep pockets, had persisted until now. His tenacity was indeed strong. He raised his paddle again, bidding 360,000. Qinyang glanced at him, and without hesitation raised his paddle again, bidding 400,000. The middle-aged businessman was thrown into a passive position by Qinyang's move and felt confused. Was this guy a fool, treating his money like it was nothing? He could have raised it by 10,000, but he insisted on raising it by 50,000. Did he think the auction house wouldn't make money? Damn. 410,000. He held firm and placed another bid, wanting to see just how much this kid was worth. Qinyang raised his eyebrows, stood up abruptly, and held his paddle high. 500,000. As soon as the price was announced, it immediately sparked a heated discussion among the crowd. People were whispering to each other, speculating about the young man. Who is this guy? He looks wealthy. I doubt it. He is probably just a naive rich kid who doesn't understand how hard it is to build a fortune. Yeah, today's youth really baffle me. My own kid is just as bad. No kidding. They're so arrogant and have high expectations, but lack the ability to earn money. They spend it like nobody's business. The middle-aged businessman felt stuck. The Qing Dynasty ceramic horse was just a burden for him. He wanted to give up, but felt reluctant. Yet continuing didn't seem worthwhile either. Qinyang nervously watched the businessman, unsure if he would proceed or back out. For Qinyang, acquiring this Qing Dynasty ceramic horse was a must. The only question was, how much would it cost? The lower the price, the smaller the loss. If someone stubbornly pushed the price up to 1 million, 5 million, or even 10 million, Qinyang would have to grit his teeth and stick it out. That would lead to significant losses. At this moment, Han Feishue, Feng Danqing, Lu Sisi, and Xiaoya all looked at Qinyang anxiously, puzzled as to why he was so fixated on this small ceramic horse. As outsiders, they could see that this horse wasn't worth 500,000. This time, Qinyang was likely to incur a loss. The slender-waisted young lady kept her eyes on the middle-aged businessman, hoping he would raise the bid again. 500,000, first call. Is there anyone else willing to bid higher? 500,000, second call. This Qing Dynasty ceramic horse is uniquely shaped and exquisitely crafted. It truly is a rare treasure. Is there anyone else who would like to place a bid? The middle-aged businessman hesitated. In the end, it was his friend who advised him, brother, 500,000 is still money. Why bother arguing with someone like that? After thinking it over, the businessman realized the logic. He immediately put down his bidding card. I give up. Qinyang finally felt relieved. However, the slender-waisted young lady looked disappointed and reluctantly dropped the hammer. Bang. 500,000, third call, sold. Congratulations to this gentleman for successfully acquiring the Qing Dynasty ceramic horse. Qinyang was thrilled. Ignoring the odd looks from others, he quickly completed the necessary procedures. Only when he genuinely held the Qing Dynasty ceramic horse in his hands did his anxious heart finally settle down. On the way, he tightly hugged the ceramic horse. not allowing the four women to touch it. Han Feishue looked skeptical. Why are you so nervous? Are you afraid we're going to steal it from you? Feng Danqing nodded in agreement. Yeah, even if we liked it, we wouldn't go so far as to steal a 500,000 ceramic horse from you. After getting into the vehicle, Qinyang closed the door and mysteriously said, I'm not worried about you stealing it. I'm afraid you might accidentally drop and break my 50 million. Han Feishue rolled her eyes. You're just bragging. How did it go from 500,000 to 50 million? Xiaoyu was also curious. Brother Yang, are you mistaken? This is 500,000, not 50 million. Qinyang wiped his sweat. Xiaoyu, do I look like I'm losing my mind? Xiaoyu stuck out her tongue awkwardly. Lu Cixi asked curiously, so why is that? Qinyang shook his head. Just a big talk. TSK. There's nothing to discuss with you amateurs. It's like playing music to a cow. Han Feishue was the first to disagree, puffing up her cheeks and glaring. Who are you calling a cow? Feng Danqing and Lu Cixi rushed over, their gazes unfriendly. Only Xiaoyu was smiling, enjoying the spectacle. Qinyang quickly surrendered. Wait, don't rush. I'm not talking nonsense. If you don't believe me, I'll take you to see. He suggested selling the pottery horse to see how much it could be worth. Han Feishue dropped her aggressive stance. Fine, let us go. If you're lying, we'll settle the new and old scores together. Lu Cixi thought about her own situation, forced to use beauty tricks, feeling resentful. Yes, let's settle the new and old scores together. Qinyang stepped on the gas, heading straight for the antique street, the treasure pavilion. With a good treasure in hand, he was of course thinking about the beautiful Ding. He swaggered down the street with a group of beauties, heading straight to Ding's office. Boss Ding, business is here. Why aren't you coming out to greet? Qinyang shouted boldly. Ding Xiang opened the door. Besides the familiar Qinyang, the site was filled with beauties. Little Yang, did you come back from the kingdom of women? Qinyang laughed heartily. Enough chit-chat. I brought you a big treasure, guaranteed to dazzle you. Ding Xiang shot him a fierce glare and stepped aside to invite everyone in to sit. Finding an opportunity, Ding pulled Qinyang aside and whispered, if you hadn't come today, I was going to look for you. Qinyang smiled. Come to my place for dinner tomorrow, we'll see each other then. No need to make an extra trip. You miss me that much? Ding Xiang rolled her eyes playfully. As if I miss you. Tomorrow there will be many people. There's no time for details. Wait a moment, let them leave first. I have something very important to discuss with you. Qinyang was a bit surprised. Is it that serious? Ding nodded seriously. At least for me, it's very urgent and important. Qinyang nodded silently. Soon, Ding personally made tea for the few beauties, leaving Qinyang without any. It was Xiaoyu who felt sorry for him and offered her tea. Qinyang huffed, little Ding. You need to take responsibility for your actions. If you don't give me tea, don't think about getting a penny more for this treasure. Ding was indifferent. Anyone can brag. Let us get the treasure first, then talk big. Qinyang immediately opened the box and placed an exquisite pottery horse on the coffee table. Take a look. Ding curled her lip. Such a tiny thing. You dare to call it a big treasure? Chapter 78. The strength of the opponent exceeds imagination. Treasure pavilion. Facing Ding Xiang's doubts, Qinyang was very confident. Take a look before you speak. A friendly reminder. I just got this ceramic horse at an auction for only 500,000. If you don't look closely, you won't be able to tell its value. Upon hearing this, Ding Xiang started to pay more attention. After spending so much time together, she firmly believed in Chun Yang's ability to spot treasures. If Qinyang said it was a valuable item, it must be true. If she couldn't see it, it could only mean that her eyesight was the problem. She took a magnifying glass and squatted down by the coffee table, examining it inch by inch. After a while, she shook her head helplessly. With my eyesight, I really can't tell what secrets this item might hold besides being a piece of Qing dynasty pottery. After a pause, she added, unless we invite an expert to appraise it, perhaps they could discover something? Qinyang shook his head. No need. It's not a matter of eyesight. This antique has its own mysteries. Saying this, he picked up a sharp, narrow knife from a nearby tool rack and inserted it into the ceramic horse. Ah! Ding Xiang was startled, both surprised and doubtful. Just a moment ago, it was said to be a great treasure. How could it be damaged now? The other girls looked on with curiosity at Chun Yang's strange action. Chun Yang quickly carved and peeled, and soon a colorful, ancient and magnificent horse antique appeared before everyone. Ding Xiang's mouth dropped open in amazement. She must have swallowed a banana. It was definitely a surprise. Han Feishue and the others were also stunned, looking at Qinyang with starry eyes. Qinyang explained with a smile. This is an authentic Tang Sankai, very rare. But it was covered by an antique enthusiast from the Qing dynasty with the craftsmanship of that time, hiding the true treasure. Now, it has finally been revealed to the world, shining brightly. Ding Xiang was extremely excited, rubbing her hands together. She wanted to touch the Tang Sankai, but was afraid of damaging the antique. Are you really going to sell this great treasure to me? To be honest, this is a true treasure. Keeping it would be like having a family heirloom, passed down for generations. No matter when, the value of such treasures will only increase. Qinyang nodded with a smile. Of course, I'm selling it to you. Am I just playing with you? Otherwise, wouldn't you lose sleep over it? So, how much will you give me? Ding Xiang seemed to think of something. Her face flushed, and she glared at him playfully. What kind of person are you? How can this unparalleled treasure turn into a mere monetary value in your mouth? Qinyang waved his hand. Don't talk to me about elegance. I'm only interested in money. Ding Xiang thought for a moment. How about 50 million? Qinyang smiled broadly. Boss Ding, it's rare for you to be generous without trying to lowball me. But if you